all right. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Exposing Powerful Lies. Let me check the audio real quick. I forgot to do that before the show. Okay, it looks like we're going good. How's it going? What's up, everybody? What's up, Jason? What's up, Nubby? What's up, Mella, Moldy Apple, Randy? All the homies up in the house tonight. What's going on, y'all? Forgot to share this out on Discord. I just did that. Oh my goodness, I got so many different places I got to share these out before we go live. It's easy to forget. How's it going, everybody? Hope you all are having a good night. It's been a beautiful day today here in Buffalo, man. It was sunny. It was gorgeous, warm. It's dropping a little bit now. The temperature's dropping just a tiny bit now, but hopefully it stays nice and warm here on the porch. Coming at you with another porch stream, another late night chill stream, another movie watch along stream. And I'm really excited about this one because I didn't realize that this was available on YouTube. I didn't realize it was an option for me to stream, so I was very happy to find out that this is an option, that I could show this. I was tossing up a few ideas in my head of what to show. There's always Scarlet Street, one of the classic, quintessential film noir movies with Edward G. Robinson. Amazing film. We're probably going to end up showing it one of these days. But of course, I'm going tonight with The Lady from Shanghai, which is my all-time very favorite Orson Welles film. I personally think it's better than Citizen Kane in terms of just enjoyment, gotten from watching it. Citizen Kane obviously is the more influential and important film, but for my money, it's always this and Touch of Evil. And that's like, they're so close together on my hierarchy of how to rank the film. They're close, but this one I think wins it out just a little bit. The character acting in it, the character actors are great. This one also contains Everett Sloan, which if you watched our last watch along, he was in the Rod Serling movie Patterns that we watched together. This one, he plays the perfect character for that actor. Just the seediest, scummiest, sleaziest lawyer, alcoholic lawyer, total lush, and he plays it perfectly, man. And Orson Welles is starring in this role as well as directing, and he plays just a wonderful, wonderful character as well. And it's really this like. It almost gives you this feeling of like an innocent walking into this den of vipers, and we come to find throughout the film that he's not so innocent, but he just comes off as being very innocent when juxtaposed with these not innocent characters at all. Orson Welles stars alongside Rita Hayworth, who at the time was his wife, and they are both huge celebrities in their day and making movies all over the world. And so they decided to make this movie together so that they could spend some time together doing what they love. And so we have this amazing just piece of time in, preserved in cinema with Orson Welles and Rita Hayworth. And so I'm really excited to show you guys this. If you guys have not seen this movie, you're really in for a treat because this is, like I said, one of my all-time favorites. And that's one thing I love about film noir is that so many of them are free, available on YouTube to watch the complete thing. So many amazing films, just like best of all times, you can just find on YouTube and watch them for free. So you really should check those out. There's entire playlists just full of classic films. And tonight we're going to watch one together by one of the greatest filmmakers, I believe, that America's ever produced. What's going on, Daniel? Good to see you. What's going on, the real John Connor? What's going on, brother? Dude, good to see you, man. And good to see you, Slow Boy Whiteboard. Slow Boys Rise Up. That reminds me, Ewok Nation, we got to give a shout out to all the homies over on Patreon. To KF, James, Jason, Anna, Bag of Dirt, John MC, Jeremiah, Romans 125, Acorn Fortino, and Thetazord. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, for helping us keep on trucking, and for helping us just, keeping the Ewok fed and alive. Thank you so much. So yeah, guys, if you want to support the show, you can become a member of the Ewok Army over there on Patreon, or you can send in super chats or tips, donations, all via Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. Post some links in the chat and in the description as the video goes on. What's going on, Genghis Khan? Good to see you, brother. Long time no see. 07s to you, brother. Good to see you. Yeah, man, we're just going to be hanging out tonight, watching a piece of American cinema that is truly great. And the writing, the acting, everything about it is so good. So I'm excited to share it with y'all. And let me try and think of anything else I can cover. To update you guys, I was feeling under the weather for quite a while. I had that bronchitis or pneumonia or whatever the hell it was. Still on antibiotics, but feeling much, much better. So I'm happy about that. so, so thank you guys for your prayers. And yeah, let me share the screen over here now. So yeah, we're just gonna be hanging out, watching the movie. I'm gonna shut the light off, so I'll be a little bit darker, just because I feel like it looks better when we do that. And we'll just be making comments and talking to everybody in the live chat as the film goes on, and doing what we normally do, man. Hope everybody's having a great, blessed Lent. And other than that, let's just get started, y'all. God bless y'all. Let's do this. Oh, snap. Speaking of Rita Hayworth, I did want to mention that if you guys don't, if you guys aren't into film noir like I am, and you don't know Rita Hayworth, you might remember the scene from Shawshank Redemption where what is his name, Tim Robbins asks Morgan Freeman for him to smuggle Rita Hayworth into the prison, and she's the one on the poster that he hides, his tunnel behind. So little thing for you guys there if you don't know the actress.
When I start out to make a fool of myself, there's very little can stop me. If I'd known where it would end, I'd have never let anything start. If I had been in my right mind, that is. But once I'd seen her, I was not in my right mind for quite some time. Good evening, said I, thinking myself a very gay dog indeed. But here was a beautiful girl all by herself and me with plenty of time, nothing to do but get myself into trouble. Some people can smell danger. Not me. I asked her if she'd have a cigarette. It's my last one. I've been looking forward to it, so please don't disappoint me.
But I don't smoke.
Where's Crispy? We need Crispy since our main character today is Black Irish here. We got Orson Welles doing the Irish accent. So weird to hear him do that, man. But I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's how I found her. And from that moment on, I did not use my head very much, except to be thinking of her. But in the park in those days, the rough young fellas used to be staging hold-ups and the like.
Help! Help!
However, these young fellas were not professionals. And that's maybe the reason why I start out in this story a little bit like a hero, which I most certainly am not. The cab driver was waking up. He was okay, so I borrowed his carriage to drive the lady home. In a short while, she recovered herself and brightened up. What were the things I found to tell her? To get her mind off the scare she'd had, you know, and to set her thinking as well of the brave fella that had rescued her. Rosalie. Fair Rosalie. It's a name I'm after calling.
Rosalie?
Why not? It's a gorgeous, romantic little name entirely. My name's Michael.
You're a character.
I'm nothing more than a poor sailor man, and him with the princess of Central Park riding along at his side, Princess Rosalie. I wonder now, where does the princess come from?
I don't know why she should tell you, but... Well,
Her parents were Russian, white Russian. You never heard of the place where she comes from.
Would Your Highness care to gamble?
Gamble? She's done it for a living.
I bet you $1 I've been to the place where you were born.
Chifu.
It's on the China coast. Chifu. It's the second wickedest city in the world.
What's the first?
Macayo, wouldn't you say so?
I would. I worked there.
You worked in Macayo?
Here's your $1. How do you rate Shanghai? I worked there, too.
Yeah, as a gambler?
Well...
Hope you were luckier tonight.
You need more than luck in Shanghai.
Do you know what?
What?
I bet I could drive the cart from down there inside with you.
There's a police car on the other road.
No, we'd best get out of the park. The horse and cart would make it too simple for the cops to be finding us.
You don't like them very much, do you,
The
Mike?
cops, they can struggle along without our doing their work for them.
Watch where you're going, Mike. Get that nag out of here.
Now the cops are bound to pick us up. We'd best leave the cab here and walk. Whoa!
You certainly don't like the police.
I do not.
My car's right there in the garage, anyway. Tell me, Michael, is there some reason why the police don't like you?
Well, they never put me in jail. In America. You know, the nicest jails are in Australia. The worst are in Spain.
What law did you break in Spain?
I killed a man.
Just now, you almost killed a girl.
Is there a law against that?
Try it. You won't like the jails in America.
So they put you in jail for murder in this country? I didn't think so. There was a man killed his wife in Frisco last week. She'd gone to the icebox for a bit of supper. He thought she was a burglar, he said. He shot her 5 times in the head.
Number 47.
He had a good lawyer.
Evidently, I saw his picture in the newspaper. Bainbridge or something.
Bannister.
Right, Arthur Bannister. It said he was the world's greatest criminal lawyer, like the world's greatest criminal.
Some people think he
Here's your
is.
car, ma'am.
Send the bill to my husband. If you're a sailor, Michael, there's a job for you. Would you like to work for me? I'd like it.
I'm shipping out tomorrow.
So are we, to the West Coast by way of the canal. We're short a man on the crew. I'll make it worth your while.
Could it be this you're looking for? You were smart to carry a gun, traveling alone in the park, but if you knew you had the gun in your bag, why throw away the bag?
I meant for you to find it. I don't know how to shoot.
It's easy. You just pull the trigger.
Some dame, ain't she?
Yeah, and some car.
Evening, Mr. Grisby.
Mr. Bannister sent it all the way from San Francisco. Just so she could have it here.
Bannister?
Arthur Bannister himself. Gee, some guys have all the luck.
Personally, I don't like a girlfriend to have a husband. If she'll fool a husband, I figure she'll fool me. Now, New York is not as big a city as it pretends to be, so I spent the next day in the hiring hall, waiting for a ship. That way, big boob that I am, I thought I could escape her.
SS American trainer.
Throw away those cigarettes and start your growth. Come here.
Excuse me. I wonder if you could help me locate it. Mr. O'Hara. Michael O'Hara.
Mike O'Hara? You mean Black Irish, the big hot that talks fancy?
I don't know him myself.
Yeah, I know him. Joe, call Mike O'Hara. Guy here wants to see him.
Michael O'Hara, please step to the bulletin board. A man wants to see you.
Shipmates?
We was in Spain together. They started calling him Black Irish after what he did to them Finks back in '39.
Yeah, Mike's got a lot of blood in him, but he knows how to hurt a man when he gets mad.
You were asking for me,
O'Hara?
O'Hara.
You're what they call an able-bodied seaman?
Well, that's what they call it.
You ever work on a yacht?
No.
I presume you can handle a speedboat.
Well, I presume so.
Do you drink?
I beg your pardon.
I asked you if you drink.
Whatever's set in front of me doesn't have to be wholesome just so long as it's strong.
Do you drink habitually?
May I ask, mister, if you're extending the invitation?
Well, I guess it might as well be. Now, Mr. O'Hara, if you'll show me to the nearest bar, we'll sit down together and discuss your coming to work for me. My name is Bannister.
Bannister? Uh-huh. You boys represent Mr. Arthur Bannister, the world's greatest criminal lawyer. He'll get you out anything. It's Jake Bjornsson and, Goldie, right?
Chaim Goldfish is the name. Glad to know you,
Mr. Bannister's wife sent him to get me. Isn't that right, Mr. Bannister? Now, Mr. Bannister is going to buy us all a few drinks while I entertain myself by refusing to go to work for him.
I do wish that we had the hat game going on nowadays, man. Back then it was improper to leave the house without a hat as a man, so you know, you got a lot more variety in the hat action back then.
You know, Mike saved my wife's life.
Oh?
Here.
Indeed.
Would you mind inciting these Kearns number 4? That's all we like to hear.
Yeah. Mike's quite a hero. Quite a tough guy.
Mister, there ain't no such thing.
No such thing as tough guy.
What's a tough guy?
I don't know.
A guy with an edge. What makes him sing better than me? Something in here. What makes it loud? A microphone. That's his edge.
Edge?
A gun or a knife, a nightstick or a razor, something the other guy ain't got. Yeah, a little extra reach on a punch, a set of brass knuckles, a stripe on the sleeve, a badge that says cop on it, a rock in your hand, or a bankroll in your pocket. That's an edge, brother. Without an edge, there ain't no tough guy.
You hear that, Black Irish?
True.
Well, bear it in mind.
Dude's so freaking drunk, dude.
Yeah, but what makes him sing prettier than you?
Naturally, someone had to take Mr. Bannister home. I told myself I couldn't leave a helpless man lying unconscious in a saloon. Well, it was me that was unconscious, and he was exactly as helpless as a sleeping rattlesnake.
Say, it's nice of you, Michael, to be so nice to me when I'm so drunk. Lover!
I wasn't sure you'd come.
I'm not staying.
You've got to stay.
Lover!
Gonna be a real nice cruise. First the Panama Canal, then up the Mexican coast. We need a bosun, Danny boy. Ever done any sailing?
A bit of it. I saw you last night at the garage, it was.
Somebody else, Danny boy. Not me.
Don't go. She needs you bad. You stay.
Hey, Mike, if you play your cards right, I think we can get a job for the both of us.
I think we'll take it.
A little bit of talking on film noir. So this is like the quintessential, in my book, film noir. We've got the femme fatale, Rita Hayworth playing that role. You know, a woman that up front she doesn't seem like she's carrying that role in this. She seems like the innocent woman. Hang on, I see we got a Wi-Fi signal here. I want to make sure we're not lagging. She seems like very innocent, very like she's a woman in trouble. But as the movie goes on, we're gonna see that she's not necessarily what she's portraying herself as. And I think it's interesting that, you know, we look back on these old films and we call it film noir, but that type of movie was really common 1939 through, I mean, well, even up to now they're making them. Now they call them neo-noirs. But, you know, generally it's like 1939 up to about 1960 was the period where we call these movies film noir, and we identify them via their plot devices and the lighting and all of that. But back in those days, that wasn't even a thing. Nobody called them that. They were just thrillers, or they were, dramas, or uh, things like that. The term film noir didn't come out until 1955. But this, I think, sums up the genre better than pretty much anything else, in my opinion.
And what was I, Mike O'Hara, doing on a luxury yacht, pleasure cruising in the sunny Caribbean Sea? Well, it's clear now I was chasing a married woman. But that's not the way I wanted to look at it. No. To be a real prize fathead like Mike O'Hara, you've got to swallow whole all the lies you can think up to tell yourself. Our little expedition spent some weeks in the West Indies, dawdling around, seeing the sights, laying in supplies, and getting into more trouble.
I beg your pardon?
Better late than never, KF. If you haven't ever seen this before, we're watching Orson Welles' The Lady from Shanghai. Orson Welles plays the lead character, Black Irish, who saved Rita Hayworth from a band of muggers. He finds out that she's married to this very wealthy criminal lawyer, and they hire him to come on their boat to basically, work a job as a sailor while they go on a little cruise on their yacht. And right before he took the job, he was going to turn it down, and the woman made it seem like she was in trouble and that she needed him to take the job. So that catches you up. We just started. We're about 14 minutes in. So better late than never. Good to see you, KF.
I say, why don't you go swimming?
I didn't bring a swimming suit along on the job, sir.
You ought to the next time.
There won't be a next time, sir. I'm quitting.
Well, my trunk's out to fetch you. You find him in the locker in the cabin. I suppose you're wondering who I am, fella.
I think I saw you in New York.
I flew in this morning, by way of Havana. I'm George Grisby, you know. Grisby and Bannister. Where is everybody? On ashore?
Well, most everybody.
My partner, too? Mr. Bannister?
That's right.
And the lady? Oh.
This guy, man.
Mr.
This guy is one of my favorite characters in this whole movie. Just so weird. That's what I really love about this film is that... Sorry, I hit the mute button instead of the full screen. You go back and you watch these old noirs, and there's nothing like this. This film is one of a kind. It's so friggin' weird. That's the best way I can describe it. The characters in it are so eccentric, and it just gives such a distinct vibe to this movie. I'm not going to keep interrupting, but I wanted to say, man, dude, this is the weirdest old movie. So I'm excited for y'all to check it out. Let's back it up a little bit here because I did kind of interrupt him.
Mr. Bannister tells me you once killed a man. You are Michael, aren't you?
That's right.
I'm very interested in murders. Forgive me if I seem inquisitive, but where'd it happen?
At Murcia.
How'd you do it? Now, let me guess. You did it with your hands, didn't you? Does it ever bother you when you think about it? What'd you do to you?
Nothing.
You just killed him for the fun of it, eh?
He was a Franco spy. There was a war on at the time.
Then it wasn't murder, I suppose. Tell me, would you do it again? Would you mind killing another man?
I'd kill another Franco spy.
I was on a pro-Franco committee, fella, during the Spanish War. Would you kill me if I gave you the chance? I may give you the chance.
Michael! Michael! Before Lee went ashore, did he make up some lunch for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there enough for two?
I'm sure I don't know, sir. Why don't you ask Mrs. Bannister?
You ask her.
Would you like a good paste in the eye, sir?
I wish you'd ask me to go swimming.
You know, everybody keeps
She'll
making
ask
these.
you.
Everyone keeps making these you see jokes. That's one we could actually watch. We should do that. Maybe for the next one, we'll do a double feature. We'll do Scarlet Street and Little Caesar. Do a Edward G. Robinson double feature. I think that's got to be in the public domain. That's like 1935 or something like that.
Oh. You wait and see.
Will you help me? Give me a cigarette. I'm learning to smoke now. Ever since that night in the park,
Every girlfriend I've ever had.
I've been getting the habit.
Do all rich women play games like this?
Call me Rosalie. I didn't think you would do that.
I didn't either.
You're scared, aren't you? You're scared. I'm scared, too.
You think you needed me to help you? You're not that kind, sure. If you need anything, you help yourself.
I'm not what you think I am. I just try to be like that.
Keep on trying. You might make it.
Oh, Michael. What are we scared of?
Probably your husband. He's like a super rich lawyer.
So long, kiddies!
Now he knows about it.
I wish I did.
Bye-bye.
Michael.
Yes, sir.
Michael, Mr. Grisby has just told me something I'm very sorry to hear. Lover, this really concerns you more than anyone else.
Don't take your arms away.
According to George here, Michael is anxious to quit.
Comes a change in weather.
Did you know about that, lover?
No, I didn't.
Shut up, George. What's the matter, Michael? The hour's too long?
No, sir.
How about the money?
I don't care about that, sir.
So money doesn't interest you, Michael. Are you independently wealthy?
I'm independent.
Of money? Before you start that novel Elsa says you're going to write, you better learn something. You've been traveling around the world too much to find out anything about it.
That's good, Arthur.
Well, sir, I've always found it very sanitary to be broke.
That's good too, Arthur.
Shut up, George.
Money cannot bring you health and happiness, etc. Is that it? Without money, I'd be flat on my back in the ward of a county hospital. Look at this yacht. It once belonged to Jules Backrack, the great Backrack, who kept me out of his club because my mother was a Manchester Greek.
I got him on perjury. He died bankrupt. And here I am.
George.
Each man has his own idea of happiness, of course.
I haven't got a match.
Just to answer the question, he was not one of the Three Stooges. He was well known for this film as well as M by Fritz Lang, which is a great, great movie starring Peter Lorre. If you haven't seen that, that's another one. That's a must-see.
But money is what all of us have in common. Take Bessie here. She used to work for Backrack.
I pay her more, don't I, Bessie?
Yes, Mr. Bannister.
Yes.
Her salary means happiness.
That's Everett Sloan, and yes, we did just watch him in the Rod Serling film Patterns.
Means a home. 3 rooms for 2 families. Bessie's a grandmother and a widow, and only one of the boys is working. Isn't that right, Bessie?
Yes, sir.
Yes, of course it is. So Bessie goes to church every Sunday she gets off, and prays to God she'll never be too old to earn the salary I pay her. You call yourself independent.
Come around and see me 5 years from now.
Aye, aye, sir.
Sing it for us again, lover.
Why do you stand for that, Bessie? I'm quitting. Why don't you?
You heard him, Mr. Poet. I need the money.
Talk of money and murder. I must be insane. Or else all these people are lunatics.
That's why I can't leave. That poor little child he married. Somebody's got to take care of her.
Well, back then, they used to have a saying that all the ugly people were the ones to get into Hollywood because, you know, people who were pretty, who had symmetrical faces, it was boring. They wanted the weird-looking guys. You know, they wanted pretty women, but weird-looking dudes.
Comes a change of heart, and who knows when.
Yep, exactly. Good call there, Lloyd. He was also in the Mercury Theater. So Everett Sloan was in Citizen Kane with Orson Welles. He was in this with Orson Welles. He was part of Welles' crew, if you could say that. He was doing radio back in the day, back when Orson Welles started out with the Mercury Theater radio. So that's why he pops up a lot in these Welles films.
So I beg you, please don't love me. But if you love me, then don't take your lips or your arms or your love away.
Glosso lusto in your hair, keep it glosso lusto bright. Glossolusto is right. Glosso lusto.
So remember, ladies, use Glosso Lusto. Pleases your hair, pleases the man you love.
Will you help me?
Love. Do you believe in love at all, Mrs. Bannister?
Give me the wheel.
Yeah, I guess he does. He does look a little bit like Marty Feldman, I suppose.
I was taught to think about love in Chinese.
The way a Frenchman thinks about laughter in French?
The Chinese say it is difficult for love to last long. Therefore, one who loves passionately is cured of love in the end.
Well, that's a hard way of thinking.
There's more to the proverb. Human nature is eternal. Therefore, one who follows his nature keeps his original nature in the end.
Lover,
Yes?
aren't you glad I talked Michael into coming along? Lover?
He must have changed his mind about me.
Faith, Mr. Bannister, I've already told your wife. I never make up my mind about anything at all until it's over and done with.
Here's a little factoid about Orson Welles and Rita Hayworth. So they were married in 1943 and they separated in 1946. And they made this film as an attempt to try to help their relationship and get back together. I think that's kind of interesting.
I'd like to, but I can't deny that Mr. Bannister did try to give his wife the things she wanted. She'd said once that she liked picnics. We were on our way up the Mexican coast when he decided to stop and give her one. Well, Mr. Bannister's picnic party was most typical of him. A lot of trouble and a great deal of money went into it, but it was no more a picnic than Bannister was a man.
Listen, when you hear what I got for you, you'll say you bought it cheap.
Sid, we've worked a lot of cases together. I'll be sorry if we have to make this one the last.
But listen, this is
There's a
hot.
plot against my life, correct? I'm going to be murdered. Isn't that the information you're peddling? I'm going to be killed. Why, Sid, don't you think I know about it? All about it? Now leave me alone. I want to enjoy myself.
Michael, I tried to tell you before. He isn't really a steward.
He isn't a good one, that's sure.
He's a detective, Michael. My husband hires him to watch me. He wants to fix it so I'll never be able to divorce him.
He means we can divorce you.
I am dissent, Michael. He wants to cut me off without a sin.
Does that matter so much? I shouldn't see it would.
Oh. I told you, sweet, you don't know anything about the world.
Well, lately I've been rounding out my education.
It's a melting pot, cultural melting pot.
I'll say this much for you, Arthur. When you give a picnic, it's a picnic. Time for another? Time for another. You know what?
So
Michael's still
they're on a yacht and they're basically taking it all over the place. They're going to many different places. So not sure exactly where they are. It doesn't really say where they are at right now.
I beg your pardon? I said what? Michael still insists on quitting.
Why shouldn't he?
Oh, no. I think Arthur ought to try and make him
If he wants
stay.
to go, let
But
him.
George likes to have him around, lover. Michael's so big and strong. Makes a good...
I just want to pause for a second. I'll rewind it, but it's so weird, dude. YouTube's being so weird right now. We have at least 4 people in the live chat, and my freaking viewer numbers just like skyrocketed from like 14 to 1. There's 1 person here, but I got 3 people commenting right now. It's so weird, dude. Come on, YouTube. What you doing to me?
Bodyguard for you. Isn't that what you said, George?
I don't need a bodyguard.
That's right. Not even a big, strong bodyguard
Don't make
lover?
another drink.
With an Irish brogue?
Arthur's had enough.
You know, George thinks Michael's fallen for you, and that makes me unhappy. George hopes. But George is wrong again. Now, Arthur. George is
I
always
didn't say
wrong.
anything about
Make
Michael
me
and
another
Elsa.
drink, George.
Another Grisby special coming up.
We are one.
Stupid fool, George. But you ought to realize I don't mind it a bit if Michael's in love with my wife. He's young. She's young.
We call that a cuck.
He's strong. She's beautiful.
Well, I hate to break it to you guys, but now we're down to 0 on my end. It says 0 viewers, so now we're not even 1. Now I guess we just don't exist at all. I guess Friedrich Nietzsche was right, and it's all we believe in nothing. We are nothing.
Where's your sense of humor?
I don't have to listen to you talk like that.
Oh, yes, you do, lover.
Now, Arthur, you leave Elsa alone.
Come to think of it, why doesn't Michael want to work for us?
Why should he? Why should anyone want to live around us?
Where's his sense of adventure? Broom! Broom!
Excuse me, sir. He's over there eating.
Tell Michael to step over here for a moment.
Aye, sir. Hey, Mike. They want to see you over there. Mr. Bannister and them.
Ooh, this is my favorite part. Okay, this not the best part of the movie, all right, but this is my favorite line of dialogue from the film. This story that Orson Welles tells up here, it perfectly sums up these characters. I love it. I love this part.
Michael,
Well, Mr. Bannister.
my wife's lost her sense of humor, Michael, and you've lost your sense of adventure. Sit down and have a drink. Give him a drink, George. And don't look so shocked. Michael may not be in the social register, but then neither are you anymore.
Is this what you folks do for amusement in the evenings? Sit around toasting marshmallows and call each other names? Sure, if you're so anxious for me to join the game, I'd be glad to. I can think of a few names I'd like to be calling you myself.
Oh, but Michael, that isn't fair. You're bound to lose the contest. We'll have to give you a handicap, Michael. You should know what George knows about me, for instance, if you really want to call me names. And Michael, if you think George's story is interesting, you ought to hear the one about how Elsa got to be my wife.
Do you want me to tell him what you've got on me, Arthur?
You know, once, off the hump of Brazil, I saw the ocean so darkened with blood it was black, and the sun fainting away over the lip of the sky. We'd put in at Fortaleza, but a few of us had lines out for a bit of idle fishing. It was me had the first strike. A shark it was. Then there was another, and another shark again. It's all about the sea was made of sharks, and more sharks still, and no water at all. My shark had torn himself from the hook, and the scent, or maybe the stain, it wasn't him bleeding his life away. Drove the rest of them mad. Then the beasts took to eating each other. In their frenzy, they ate at themselves. You could feel the lust of murder like a wind stinging your eyes, and you could smell the death reeking up out of the sea. I never saw anything worse until this little picnic tonight. And you know, there wasn't one of them sharks in the whole crazy pack that survived. I believe in you now.
Mic drop. Was that not fucking awesome, dude? What a perfect analogy for these characters. Just sharks eating each other. I love that, dude. I absolutely love that. And yeah, for real.
George, that's the first time anyone ever thought enough of you to call you a shark. You're a good lawyer. You'd be flattered.
Yo, shout out to the Kenosha kid, Jeff. Good to see you, brother.
Where's Mrs. Bannister?
I'm sure I don't know, sir.
She adores it here in Acapulco. So do I.
Yeah, it's nice and quaint. But what I want to know is when are we going to get back to Frisco?
Mind walking with me, fella? I know all the best places. You might enjoy it. I want to make you a proposition.
Oh, and we gotta give shout out to Jason Scholl for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Jason. Seriously, thank you, brother.
Beautiful, isn't it?
The beach, you mean, or the tourists?
Everything.
That is a fair face to the land, surely, but you can't hide the hunger and guilt. It's a bright, guilty world.
Darling, of course you pay me.
What's your guess, Michael? Think the world's coming to an end?
Well, there was a start to the world sometime, so I guess there'll be a stop.
It's coming, you know. Hmm? Oh, yeah. Got to come. First the big cities, then maybe even this. It's just got to come.
I prefer to be somewhere else, and it does.
I will be. That's what I need you for, Michael. To see to it that I'm not around. How'd you like $5,000?
What?
That's what I said. $5,000, fella.
And what do I have to do for it?
I'll fill in the details later. Meanwhile, think it over, Michael. It's $5,000. It's yours. All you have to do is kill somebody.
Who, Mr. Grisby? Particular who I murdered.
Good boy.
You know, I wouldn't like to kill just anybody. It's someone I know.
Oh, yeah. But you'll never guess.
I give up.
It's me. I'm perfectly sober, Michael. I'm willing to pay $5,000 if the job is well done. This is a straightforward business proposition. I want you to kill me. So long, fella.
You guys see what I mean when I say this is a weird movie? Got some Fletch action going on here. Just the cinematography, everything. It's just so weird.
Michael,
Yes,
you talked to George yesterday.
I did.
Did he say anything about us?
He's afraid the world's going to explode. He talks about suicide.
I've thought of that sometimes.
Suicide?
Do you think it's wrong, Michael?
I don't know.
Would you kill yourself if you had to?
I don't know.
I've looked at those pills so many times.
Pills?
The ones my husband takes to kill the pain. And wondered if enough of them would kill my pain.
The pain of just being alive? Mr. Grisby wants to be cured of that pain. He wants me to cure him. Mr. Grisby wants me to kill Mr. Grisby. I'm sure he's out of his mind.
He's not sane. Neither is Arthur.
Your husband can take care of himself.
That's the question, right? That's the question. I mean, like Jason said, dude, you know, he seems insane. It's like, is he crazy? What's going on here?
What do you want?
Beautiful moon. Nice night for it, ain't it, Mr. O'Hara? You didn't answer me, Mr. O'Hara. You ought to speak when you're spoken to. I'd hate to have to report you to the lady's husband. I said it's a nice night for it. Oh.
Slap. Yeah, I mean, well, you know, Slow Boy, even she says even one of the most beautiful women in history, yachting all over the Gulf, wants to end it with pills. I can't suspend my disbelief. I mean, it's kind of realistic, right? I mean, so many of these rich, you know, socialites are just miserable. They're just lead empty lives. Um, you know, that's how they say she died, but she was actually murdered. But yes.
Would you care to dance with me?
Oh yeah, Monroe was taken out. She was killed for sure.
Stop crying. I can't stand for you to cry.
You know what Broom's been doing?
Spying on you. I'm sure I'm gonna take you where there aren't any spies.
Michael, where?
A long way off. Some one of the far places.
Far place. We're in one of them now. Running away doesn't work. I tried it. Everything's bad, Michael. Everything. You can't escape it or fight it. You've got to get along with it. Deal with it. Make terms. You're such a foolish knight-errant, Michael. You're big and strong, but you just don't know how to take care of yourself. So how could you take care of me?
Mike! Hey, Mike! If you'll pardon me this intrusion, there's a couple of police officers out here.
Cops?
I don't speak their language, see? And they wants me to identify this guy. What's the Spanish for drunken bum?
It was early October when we made San Francisco and dropped anchor across the bay from the city in Sausalito. It had been a most interesting cruise. All very rich and rare and strange. But I had had no stomach for it. To begin with, living on a hook takes away your appetite.
Exactly, Jason. That's another thing I love about this film, and that's what I was trying to say in the beginning. How it's like he's like this innocent character who just, you know, unknowingly wades into this den of vipers, right? But then we find out in the very beginning of the film that he's killed somebody. You know, that he's already killed somebody, a Franco spy earlier in his life, and so it's weird though because that's killing in the line of duty, right? And so he still maintains his innocence and just the contrast of him between all of these just like drunk, sweaty, sleazy characters. It's so good.
You've no taste for any pleasure at all but the one that's burning in you. But even without an appetite, I'd learned it's quite amazing how much a fool like me can swallow.
Please, Michael, be careful.
The car's down there. Mr. Bannister's waiting to take you into the city, to San Francisco, but you're not going with him. You're going with me.
Michael.
You think I can't take care of you?
And of course,
I'd be after running off you to a desert island to eat berries and goats.
he's white knighting for Rita Hayworth here, which I mean, she's in the den of vipers. You know, she's there living with him. It's like you think she's just like this innocent little lamb that's living with these vipers.
And I'd have to take in washing to support you.
Hello, kiddies.
There's George.
How would you say $5,000 to get us started?
We've got a date with a couple of beers, fella. Arthur was asking for you.
He wondered where you'd gone.
I won't tell him.
You didn't answer my question. $5,000.
Goodbye, Michael.
Can we start on that? Would you have to take in washing on $5,000?
Sit down. I suppose you're wondering what's behind my little proposition. None of your business, actually, but since we're what you might call partners in crime, I might as well tell you that the firm of Bannister and Grisby is insured against the death of either partner. That means if one of us dies, the other stands to get a lot of money. Thanks. Now leave us alone.
Yes, sir.
Like some other people we both know, I'm not very happily married. And another thing, frankly, I don't want to be within 1,000 miles of that city or any other city when they start dropping those bombs.
Michael, there's been a suggestion we drive you into town.
Want a beer before you go?
I'll be waiting with Mrs. Bannister in the car.
Better meet me in my office.
So,
late tonight.
so there's another point for the maybe he's crazy category there, you know. I mean, he's talking about nuclear annihilation, you know. Bill says, YouTube is acting like a bagel today, withholding my chats, withholding your view count. Yeah, it's really weird, man. We had like 16 people, then it just like nosedived to 0. And we're still chatting in the live chat, so I don't know.
Right. What for? $5,000. That ought to take a girl and a sailor on quite a nice little trip.
I'll meet you at your office.
Do. It's a little paper I'd like you to sign. It's nothing very binding or important, really. Just a confession of murder. Here's to crime.
What a toast.
She shall meet you at the aquarium, 9 o'clock, before many people there.
The aquarium?
Oh, if you ever need a good lawyer, Michael, let me know.
I, Michael O'Hara, in order to live in peace with my God, do freely make the following confession. On the evening of August 9th, that's tomorrow night, fella, I shot and killed Mr. George Grisby, placing his dead corpse in the Sausalito Bay.
Just a minute. What you reading there? Am I supposed to have written it?
It's your confession. This is the easiest 5,000 you're ever going to earn, fella.
Why don't you do it yourself?
Commit suicide? Me? Don't be silly. Suicide is against the law, and we're not going to break the law. This is going to be murder, and it's going to be legal. I want to live, but I want to vanish. I want to go away and change my name and never be heard of again. But that costs money, and it isn't easy nowadays. If they're looking for you, they'll find you, unless they think you're dead.
Yeah, Moldy says that YouTube's updating stuff, so now Lloyd's saying he can't even like the video. Let me try it on my end. Resources been exhausted, e.g. check quota. Yeah, I'm getting that too. So I guess the question is it because we're playing the movie, or is it because YouTube is being weird? I wonder. But normally, if you're playing something that they don't like you playing, you know, they would just take the stream down. But it's not doing that. And I've seen a million channels upload this movie before, so I don't think it's that. I think it's probably YouTube just being messed up. But I guess we'll find out.
They'll find you even on the smallest island in the South Seas. That's where I'm going to be, fella. On that smallest island. I'll mail the rest to you after the murder. But I want to live on that island in peace. That won't be possible unless the world is satisfied I don't exist. You know, the law is a funny thing, fella. The state of California will say I'm dead. Officially dead. Somebody will say they murdered me. That's what I'm paying you for.
To murder you?
Say you did.
What happens to you, really?
I disappear.
What happens to me?
Nothing. That's the joker. You swear you killed me, but you can't be arrested. That's the law. Look it up for yourself. There's no such thing as homicide unless they find a corpse. It just isn't murder if they don't find a body. According to the law, I'm dead if you say you murdered me. But you're not a murderer unless I'm dead. Silly, isn't it?
I've never seen an aquarium. Would you show me about?
couldn't think where else we could meet. Only tourists come here and school children.
And lovers?
Oh, Michael.
Fair
You
Rosalie.
love me very much.
I do.
Do you still want to take me away with you?
Why do you ask me that?
Tell me where we'll go, Michael. Will you carry me off with you into the sunrise?
Stop tormenting me. I'll take proper care of you. You won't starve.
I don't care where it is, Michael. Just take me there. Take me quick. Take me.
I don't want you to worry about us, Rosalie.
Oh,
now.
Michael,
I'm making
worried
arrangements.
about you. The things you said yesterday about money. You didn't sound like you. You're not going to try anything foolish, are you?
I'm afraid so. Something very foolish indeed.
I, Michael O'Hara, in order to live in peace with my God, do freely make the following confession.
Read the last part. That explains the whole of it.
We arrived at the boat landing at approximately 10:20. Mr. Grisby said he heard a sound, something suspicious. He said he was frightened of a holdup and asked me to get the gun out of the side pocket of the car just in case. I reached in and got the gun, but I had hardly taken hold of it when the gun went off by accident in my hand. Then I saw that Mr. Grisby was all covered in blood. It took me a minute to realize that Mr. Grisby was dead, to realize that I, Michael O'Hara, had killed him. But I don't understand, Michael. What were you doing with George in Sausalito?
He says Mr. Grisby wants to spend the night on the yacht and asked me to drive him there. That's what I killed him. You see, with the rough tide there is in the bay, they wouldn't recover the body if there was one. You don't understand, darling. He isn't dead yet. Grisby's alive. He won't be murdered till tonight. Is that foolish enough for you?
My husband wrote that thing and got you to sign it for him. It's one of those famous Bannister tricks.
No, it's Grisby's idea. It seems Mr. Grisby wants to disappear, and this is a scheme of his to get himself declared dead.
There's more to it than that, Michael. I don't know what, but there's more. It's a trap of some kind. You meet George tonight, just as he arranged. Go with him to Sausalito and do whatever crazy nonsense he asks you to do. As long as nobody gets hurt, it won't matter. But don't let him out of your sight. Maybe George isn't as big a fool as he seems to be, but I'll swear my husband's behind this whole thing. Oh, Michael, why did you let yourself get dragged into it?
Sure, because I'm a fool. A deliberate, intentional fool. And that's the worst kind. Or didn't you know?
Yes, my beloved fool. I know.
Why'd you let yourself get roped into it? You literally begged me to come on this trip.
I don't think there's anybody home. Just Broom. Mr. Bannister's in the city, and Mrs. Bannister, I think, went to the movies. Better wait for me in the kitchen. Make some coffee. We'll both need it. I've got things to attend to.
Well, I wonder, am I the only one that's onto you and her?
Who?
Nobody else seems to guess you're sweet on her. That ought to be worth a little extra. But I'll throw it in for the same price.
What are you selling?
I can shut up. That's what I'm selling. You see, I'm a snoopy kind of a guy. I find things out. I get around. I got around one afternoon in Sausalito. I overheard a little conversation down in Mexico. I found out about a little plot of yours. I guess you wouldn't want me to say nothing about how you're fixing to frame Michael. Yeah, frame him for a murder you're going to commit.
Well, let's talk it over tomorrow, huh?
When you'll be plain dead and somebody else we both know is really dead? No, thanks, Mr. Grisby. We'll settle our account right now.
All right, Broom. If you insist. Michael. I'm sorry. You drive.
Are you shooting a gun?
Yeah, we're just doing a little target practice. That's what you're gonna say, isn't it? When you shoot the gun down by the boat landing, people come out of the bar to see what happened. You're gonna say, I was just doing a little target practice. Of course, really, you're supposed to have shot me. And later, when nobody's looking, you're supposed to have thrown my corpse into the bay.
Dude, that guy is just so freaking weird, man.
What happened back there? Anybody hurt? Kind of banged it up, mister.
It's our fault, I'm afraid. Here's my card. Let me know if there's any damage.
Looks like you got damaged.
Yeah,
Take a
right.
look at your hand. It's cut
It's
bad.
okay, fella, really. It's all right. Good night.
Well, good night, Mr. Grimsby.
Good night. Did he get a good look at us?
What's that?
Truck driver, I mean. He'll make a good witness.
What?
He'll testify he saw us just before the murder.
Bruce, are you ill?
I got some lead in me where it hurts.
I'll call a doctor.
Did already. Trouble is, the doc will report the police. Police will want to know who was the certain party who shot me. Don't worry, he'll get his. There's gonna be a murder. Ain't gonna be no fake murder, not this time. Somebody's gonna be killed.
You mean?
Yeah, your husband. Maybe he's the one who's gonna be knocked off.
What?
Could be. You'd better get down to his office if you want to do anything about it.
What are you doing?
Getting blood all over the floor of the car. My blood. It's perfect. If you shot me, there would be blood, fella, see? Now, when you get back to the garage, start washing out the blood stains. You're trying to wipe out the evidence, see? But be careful not to do such a good job that they can't analyze the stains. Just try to wash that out. Now, come on, get the guns in the glove compartment.
Oh boy.
Good. Come on now, let's go.
This is seeming like a worse and worse idea.
Now, be sure and let the people in the bar in there get a good look at you. They're bound to ask about the shooting. Just say you're doing a little target practice. Be sure and wait until you hear the speedboat get away. Understand?
Where you going?
Give me that cap.
What are you laughing at?
Wait and see.
Get the law.
People get some sleep around here. Somebody said they heard a shot.
Hey, what are you doing with that gun?
I was just doing a little target practice.
Where are you going with it now?
Is he drunk? He's soused.
Seraphim, please. Seraphim, please. Hello, I want to speak to Mrs. Bannister. What?
It's me, Brom. Get down to the office, Montgomery Street. You was framed. Grisby didn't want to disappear. He just wanted an alibi. And you're the fall guy. Grisby's gone down there to kill Bannister. Now!
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Stop the car!
I too late? What do you say, Mr. Bannister?
Who are you?
Bannister.
Hey, that's blood, ain't it?
Sure it's blood.
All over
Let go of me, will you?
Thing all over the seat.
Where? Will you let go of me?
All right. Blood all over.
Give us your name. Michael O'Hara. Will you tell me what happened?
Hey, listen, what paper I found on his
It's nothing. I want to know about Mr. Bannister.
Go ahead, Joe. I'm Michael O'Hara. In order to live at peace with my God...
Yes, Michael? You were asking for me?
Pardon me, please. Do freely make the following confession. Confession? On the evening of August 9th, I shot and killed George Grisby.
Then it wasn't you that was killed. It was him, Grisby. Hello, darling. Have you heard the news? George has been murdered. He was found here in the street with Michael's cap in his hand. Michael is going to need a good lawyer.
Well, it's my own fault, but that's how I got into it, big boob that I am. I began to ask myself if I wasn't out of my head entirely. The wrong man was arrested. The wrong man was shot. Grisby was dead, and so was Broom. And what about Bannister? He was going to defend me in a trial for my life, and me charged with a couple of murders I did not commit. Either me or the rest of the whole world is absolutely insane.
You know my associate, Mr. Seeley, dear. He's
Hello.
arranged for your pass into the jail. It's right here in the building. You want him to take you?
I'd rather go by myself.
All right, Seeley. I'll join you in the office.
Okay, Mr. Bannister. Excuse me, Mrs. Bannister.
So you want to be alone with Michael?
It was your idea.
Morning, Bannister.
Good morning, Judge. That boy of yours still in the hospital?
Been home since Tuesday.
Well, that's fine, Judge.
Thanks.
Wasn't it your idea?
What's that, lover? Oh, I beg your pardon.
Wasn't it your idea?
Isn't it your idea to save Michael from the gas chamber?
I love the smoking in front of the no smoking sign. Excellent.
Dorothy Bannister is the only one who can do it.
What do you
Be sure and get
Hello, Galloway.
Hi, Bannister. How's tricks?
You know our district attorney, dear?
How do you do, Mr.
Mrs. Bannister? Oh, Fassbender.
I was the murdered man's partner. The other victim was my servant. If I defend Michael, any jury is going to figure I have reason to believe that he's innocent.
And you have reason to believe that Michael is innocent?
I hear that Galloway is going to say that Michael took George's corpse into the city in our speedboat.
But he didn't. We can prove it.
Prove? George couldn't have taken it.
Why not?
Well, how could he get back?
Back where?
To the yacht, naturally. The speedboat couldn't have driven itself. Or maybe it was George's ghost. Maybe the boat just drifted back. Now, lover, Michael has got to plead excusable homicide.
But you can prove he didn't do it with his gun. They already know it wasn't Michael's gun that killed George.
The gun that did kill George can't be found, lover, so we can't prove that Michael didn't shoot him. And it was Michael's gun that killed Broom. Now, Michael is going to need everything that the greatest living trial lawyer can do for him. Our good district attorney over there has worked up a beautiful case. The truck driver, the fat saloon keeper down at the docks, they'll be effective witnesses. And he'll know how to handle them. And then there's this crazy confession.
But Michael has an explanation.
Explanation?
You think it's funny?
Funny? You mean that story about how George hired Michael to kill George?
To pretend to kill him.
Really? Why would George want to disappear?
Michael said something about partnership insurance.
What?
Partnership insurance.
Which he, George, wanted to collect.
Yes, yes.
And he, George, wanted everybody to think he was dead.
Yes.
Dead so that he could collect the insurance.
Yes.
Well, if he was dead, how could he collect? Now, lover, if your Irishman doesn't want to go to the gas chamber, he's going to have to trust me.
But you... do you trust him?
I wouldn't trust him with my wife.
You want to make sure he doesn't get off, don't you?
I've never lost a case, remember? Besides, my wife might think he was a martyr. I've got to defend him. I haven't any choice.
Neither have you.
Yeah. Well, now it says we got 19 viewers, so it seems like whatever the issue was is done now.
It looks bad for me. Isn't that what your husband says?
Whatever else he is, Arthur's a marvelous lawyer. You've got to trust him, Michael.
Why? Why should I trust him?
Because it's your only chance. Because I want you to.
That'll have to do for a reason.
Lover.
Michael, why did you kill Broom?
What?
Don't be afraid to tell me, please. I just want to know.
Well, sure, does Grisby kill Broom? Pussy Head was going to murder your husband.
George, kill Arthur.
You know that.
What could he possibly gain from it?
Well, for one thing, he couldn't get a divorce.
What?
Yes, that was the chief reason Grisby wanted people to think he was dead so he could get away from his wife.
Wife? But that's impossible.
Why?
George didn't have a wife. He wasn't married.
It's getting so convoluted now, man.
Mrs. Bannister, hey, I saved the seat for you. Would you gentlemen please move over?
Oh, I just want to look at her. I said, sit down.
Question calls for the operation of the officer's mind.
Sustained.
Very well. In the interest of saving time, we'll proceed. As I'm sure Officer Peters is most anxious to go home to his wife and family before returning to duty. Now then, Officer Peters, except for the blood, the clothes were dry.
Yes, sir.
They were dry. Yet the defendant stated in his confession that he threw the body into the bay.
Your Honor, the district attorney isn't cross-examining. He's making speeches.
That simply isn't so.
I move for the declaration of mistrial. These are grounds that the jury is being prejudiced.
These are some of the great Bannister's trial tactics in appeal for sympathy.
District attorney is beginning to get vicious.
When you two gentlemen get over your argument, tell me who won. Then I'll decide on the objection. Objection sustained.
Your witness, Mr. Bannister.
No questions, except, yes.
Officer Peters, I don't wish to keep you from your wife and children any more than the district attorney who was so concerned about them a moment ago. But I would like to ask you one question. Officer Peters, have you a wife and children?
Well, no.
Thank you. You may step down.
Oh, your next witness.
I call Arthur Bannister.
It's certainly unusual, Your Honor, to put a defense attorney on the witness stand, but I'm confident that my client will make no objection.
Hey, Galloway can't make Bannister testify against his own client.
Hey, what happened? Oh, sit down. Why should I down?
Your Honor, I wouldn't take this step if there were any more effective means of establishing the evidence I wish to bring forward.
With my client's express permission.
Mr. Bannister will take the stand.
I've never seen anything like that before.
I always thought he was smart.
I don't come any smarter.
You ain't kidding.
You solemnly swear the evidence you're about to give in this case be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? State your name.
Arthur Bannister.
Mr. Bannister, you are a member of the bar.
I am.
And have been for a number of years.
That is correct.
The defendant, Michael O'Hara, worked as a member of the crew of your yacht.
Yes.
Did he seem happy in his job?
I beg your pardon? You had your back turned
Did
tonight.
he seem happy in his
Reasonably
job?
so.
Did you get that answer?
I did, reasonably so.
As a matter of fact, wasn't he threatening to quit?
Yes.
Did you know, Mr. Bannister, that right after the murders, we found the defendant's bags packed? And everything put away in readiness for an immediate departure?
Yes.
Well, in your experience as an attorney, would this not indicate premeditation?
The district attorney is again making speeches,
Premeditation and plan
making
for flight?
speeches and drawing conclusions.
I am not drawing
you
conclusions.
You are drawing
Now,
conclusions.
Gentlemen.
And he is asking improper questions in
Improper
order to
questions,
influence
Your
the
Honor,
jury.
I think-
And I must ask
I'm
Your
afraid-
Honor to declare a mistrial.
Overruled.
Exception.
No further questions.
Would Your Honor kindly explain to the jury that since the district attorney has placed me in the position of a witness, that I am permitted, as the defense attorney, to cross-examine myself?
These are more of the persuasive Mr. Bannister's trial tactics.
The jury is so instructed.
Question. Mr. Bannister, did the defendant say anything as to why he had taken the job? Answer. Yes, Mr. Bannister. He reminded Mr. Bannister that Mr. Bannister had to go to the Seamen's Hiring Hall and use his persuasive powers to convince the defendant to take the job. Question. Can you think of anything else, Mr. Bannister, that is relevant to this inquiry? Well, I found this boy to be clean-cut, courageous, resourceful, honest, hard-working. Question. Now, Mr. Bannister, please answer the question yes or no. Can you think of anything else that is relevant to this issue? Answer. No. Very well. Thank you, Mr. Bannister. You may step down.
Your Honor, I have a subpoena for a witness who was present in the courtroom. May I have the bailiff serve it at this time?
We'll serve the subpoena.
I call Mrs. Arthur Bannister.
There's no electricity to take that, is there? I don't know.
Sit down. Sit down and mind your own business.
For real, KF. That's why I love Perry Mason. I love that show. Matlock, Perry Mason, they're great.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. State your name.
This is Arthur Bannister.
Mrs. Bannister, did you ever have guards to police your house?
Yes, great,
Or
great
the yacht
film.
on which you've just made a cruise?
No,
Why?
we never felt the need of it.
You have no children, have you?
I have no children.
You have no children. So you were never concerned about kidnappers, is that correct?
That is correct.
There was a man employed in your house and on your husband's yacht named Sidney Broom.
Yes.
You've known Mr. Broom for several years.
No.
Would it surprise you if I were to tell you that the detective hired by your husband in divorce cases was Sidney Broom? The man who was employed in your house as a butler and on your husband's yacht as a steward and who was subsequently murdered.
I object.
Does counsel deny that...
Overruled.
Does counsel deny that the butler Broom is the detective Broom used by him in divorce cases? Mrs. Bannister, can you think of any reason why your husband would want to hire a divorce detective other than to watch you?
I object.
Objection sustained. As a matter of fact, didn't you and your husband have an argument about your showing an infatuation for O'Hara?
We did not.
Isn't it a fact that the defendant O'Hara made advances to you and told you he was infatuated with you?
He was very respectful.
Speak up, Mrs. Bannister.
He was very respectful. And I think he was fond of...
Just what is your definition of fond, Mrs. Bannister? As a matter of fact, you and Michael O'Hara have kissed each other, haven't you? To name one occasion, you were seen in the aquarium of this city kissing each other. Do you deny that?
Do you deny kissing?
No further questions. Your witness, Mr. Bannister.
No questions.
Busted.
The State Department has refused any comment. Meanwhile, here in San Francisco, the fate of Black Irish O'Hara, notorious waterfront agitator whose trial for the murder of socialite George Grisby has held the front page
You
of
was
these recent
smooching with
weeks,
my brother.
remains undecided, as the jury, already out 7 hours, has still to return a verdict. The whole Black Irish case, according to well-informed sources here...
I guess we could assume that the George, you know, sort of told him that they were kissing. Oh no, he was talking about in the aquarium. That whole group of kids saw it, so there was a lot of potential witnesses there in the aquarium.
How long do they take usually?
Can't ever tell about it, Jimmy.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Oh, yes?
The jury's coming out now.
Oh, thank you, Officer McNulty.
By the way, what has Elsa been telling you? Or did you imagine that I didn't know she's been coming to see you?
She asked me to trust you.
The jury has reached its verdict, Mr. Bannister.
What?
Because I know you wanted me to be convicted.
Now that it's too late for you to do anything about it, I might as well tell you. This is one case I enjoyed losing. I'm coming to see you in the death house, Michael. Every day. Our little visits will be great fun. I'm going to ask for a stay of execution. I really hope it'll be granted. I want you to live as long as possible before you die.
You're talking kind of tough, aren't you, Mr. Bannister?
I've got an edge. I know you're going to the gas chamber.
Don't be so sure. I know the killer. I know who murdered Grisby.
Michael.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you arrived at a verdict?
We, the jury...
Hey, wait a minute! Tyson Films!
Let's talk to the doctor on the phone. He's coming right over. Said to keep on his feet.
We need some help out there.
Control this crowd all by myself. The way I understand it, Mr. Galloway, he'll be all right if we keep him moving.
I need help in
Doctor
there.
says if he goes to sleep, he's done for.
Done for? Well, I need at least 2 of you officers to control the crowd in my courtroom.
I'll try and get the reporters.
You stay here. Reporters, you do not have to. I'll see the reporters.
Mr. Galloway.
I'll see the reporters myself.
We have to prepare a statement.
That's it, Benny. Keep him walking.
All right, Mr. Galloway.
I love that nobody in the other room hears all this going on.
Stay close together now while I escort you out to dinner.
Sure, it's Mike.
What can we do?
We gotta think of something. Hey, that's another jury. From another trial across there.
Please do not
walking
talk
out with
about the case outside of this jury room. The judge hopes that you will arrive at a verdict as soon
Dude
as possible.
literally just took like a full bottle of painkillers too.
Hey! That way! Come on, let me go! My goodness! My window! My chest
My precious gumball machine.
Get off the floor, Officer Fishbone. Hello? No pictures. Hello?
That woman's too nice looking to have stolen all that jewelry. Jury duty is such a responsibility, don't you think?
Hey, you! You were told not to talk about the case. Now, don't let it happen again. All right, keep moving.
No, he actually took him.
Elsa!
My cappuccino machine. Yo, yo, what up, dude? No worries, homie. I'm thinking by it, because we're coming up to the end here. I'm thinking I might make it a double feature, so you may not have missed it all. We might keep this rolling. Hang on, sorry about that, y'all. I don't know what I just did, but I just like somehow stopped sharing the screen. So let me pull this back up real quick. We didn't lose our place, luckily. Let me rewind a few seconds here. Getting that kabuki theater.
Backstage, Miss.
I don't know if they said something earlier that I missed, but I never understood why it was called Lady from Shanghai. This kabuki theater scene here is like the only thing that has to do with anything Oriental. So I know I'm a bad movie host here, but it's like I just don't get it. This is based on a book, by the way. I should have mentioned that in the beginning. Yeah, she's actually Chinese. Plot twist.
Hello, Lee.
Hello，我係李剛。
唔該你幫助我。
我哋我係油花，但係
It's an
我
opium
諗
den.
嚟到幫助你。
It's possible. I feel like I've missed a line of dialogue or something. What a great flick that is, man. Love Chinatown. One of the best neo-noirs.
Why did you do it, Mike?
I didn't. I'm not guilty. Oh, the pills, you mean, the pills. I saw you begging me to swallow them, begging me with your eyes. But you didn't mean for me to take them all, of course. So I held some back, but not enough. I took too many of the pills. I'm faint.
And now what?
But I've got to find something
Don't you
first
know they'll
before I
catch you?
faint.
Where do you
I've
think
got
you
to
can
find
hide?
that gun.
Gun? What?
I've got to find the gun that killed Grisby. It'll prove I'm innocent.
Well, I phoned her. Our servant Lee, we're trying to arrange something, someplace to take you. Just wait here quietly and watch the play.
Yeah, I'll be like Hans Moleman from The Simpsons. Like, I'm 30, I'm 37. He looks like he's like 60. Yeah. On a different note though, who watches that kabuki theater, man? That sounds awful. Just like banging pots and pans. They go, Matt. Sing ding dong.
Put your arms around me.
有隻兔，有何名字啊？李玉蘭，真身賴有。
Don't move.
Don't you move. I told you not to move. I mean it. I found the gun. You killed Crispy, yes. You're the killer.
Man, I told y'all, she was no good.
News, Harold. I was right. She was the killer. She killed Grisby. Now she was going to kill me. Her servant Lee and his friend smuggled me out in the darkness and hid me where I'd be safe from the cops. Not safe from her. One of the Chinese worked in an amusement park. It was closed for the season. An empty amusement park makes a good hideout. And she wanted me hidden. Well, I came to in the crazy house. And for a while there, I thought it was me that was crazy. After what I'd been through, anything crazy at all seemed natural. But now, I was sane on one subject, her. I knew about her. She planned to kill Bannister. She and Grisby. Grisby was to do it for a share of Bannister's money. That's what Grisby thought. But of course, she meant to kill Grisby too, after he'd served his purpose. Poor howling idiot. He never even did that. He went and shot Broom. And that was not part of the plan. Broom might have got to the police before he died. And if the cops traced it to Grisby, and the cops made Grisby talk, he'd spill everything, and she'd be finished. So she had to shut up Grisby, but quick. And I was the fall guy.
In here, we're less likely to be heard.
I was thinking it was only your husband you wanted to kill.
Why don't you try to understand? George was supposed to take care of Arthur, but he lost his silly head and shot Broom. After that, I knew I couldn't trust him. He was mad. He had to be shot.
And what about me?
Oh, we could have gone off together.
Into the sunrise. You and me, or you and Grisby.
I love you.
One who follows his nature keeps his original nature in the end. But haven't you heard ever of something better to follow?
No.
I knew I'd find you two together. If I hadn't, Elsa, I might have gone on playing it your way. You didn't know that, but you did plan for me to follow you.
You've been drinking.
I presume you think that if you murder me here, your sailor friend will get the blame, and you'll be free to spend my money. Well, dear, you aren't the only one who wants me to die. Our good friend, the district attorney, is just itching to open a letter that I left with him. The letter tells all about you, lover. So you'd be foolish to fire that gun. With these mirrors, it's difficult to tell. You are aiming at me, aren't you? I'm aiming at you, lover. Of course, killing you is killing myself. It's the same thing. But you know, I'm pretty tired of both of us. You know, for a smart girl, you make a lot of mistakes. You should have let me live. You're gonna need a good lawyer.
George. And now me.
Like the sharks, mad with their own blood, chewing away at their own selves.
It's true. I made a lot of mistakes.
You said the world's bad. We can't run away from the badness, and you're right there. But you said we can't fight it. We must deal with the badness, make terms. And didn't the badness deal with you? And make its own terms in the end, surely.
You can fight, but what good is it? Goodbye.
You mean we can't win?
No, we can't win. Give my love to the sunrise.
And we can't lose, either. Only if we quit.
And you're not going to.
Not again.
Oh, Michael. I'm afraid. Michael. Come back here. Michael. Please. I don't want to die. I don't want to die!
I went to call the cops, but I knew she'd be dead before they got there. And I'd be free. Bannister's note to the DA'd fix it. I'd be innocent officially, but that's a big word, innocent. Stupid's more like it. Well, everybody is somebody's fool. The only way to stay out of trouble is to grow old, so I guess I'll concentrate on that. Maybe I'll live so long that I'll forget her. Maybe I'll die trying.
Man, dude. Gotta give it the slow clap for that one, dude. How awesome is that movie? Right? Right? Come on. Am I crazy or what, dude? Wasn't that great? And that freaking finale. The climax of that movie is so good, man. So good. She really is the quintessential femme fatale, but like a secret one. You know, you don't find out till the end that she's really bad, but she is, man. Man, dude, so much, just so much greatness in that film. First person Q said the whole movie is like a fever dream. And that's why I love it so much, dude. It really is. The whole thing is just so chaotic and crazy. And it gets so convoluted towards the second act there, where it's like, what is going on? And in the end, Archangel Michael kept the faith with foot on Satan's head. Dude, it's great. It's just like, man, these women crazy, dude. You gotta stay away from them. I missed all of it. Well, it's all good, man. Like I said, I mean, if you guys are up for it, I might make this here a double feature. We could roll with one of the all-time great film noirs, Scarlet Street. I was thinking about maybe doing another Orson Welles, because there's this great Orson Welles film where he stars in it as well, called The Stranger, with Edward G. Robinson of Little Caesar fame. And he literally plays a Nazi. Orson Welles plays a Nazi on the run post-war. But I think we're going to stick with Scarlet Street because it's just so good. I feel like if we played The Stranger needs to be movie 1. It's not a good second film, so we're going to do Scarlet Street because that is just on every single film noir box set you can find, it's in there because it's obviously public domain like many of these. Not all the film noirs are public domain, but many of them are. Some really great ones. You can find them at dollar store and stuff. You guys ever been to the Dollar Tree or dollar store and you find those cardboard box movies they got? You know, you find like 10 episodes of Gumby on a disc, or, you know, the Three Stooges or silent films from the 20s, and it's just a cardboard box with a disc inside of it. I used to collect those. And Scarlet Street's one of those that you'd find on those like dollar box sets. Those boxes are weird, man. It's just a cardboard box with like a picture of Gumby on the front and like, you know, one paragraph on the back. And there's nothing even holding the disc. It's just a box with a disc inside of it. Just the cheapest crap ever. But yeah, popcorn. Get your popcorn ready. Get all that stuff. Yeah, Gumby. I love Gumby, dude. I used to love Gumby. I used to want to be a claymation guy when I was like 5 years old. That was the first job I imagined myself having as a kid, was a claymator. Have to look out for those. I don't know if they exist anymore. I used to get them when I was a kid a lot, and I haven't seen them since. Nowadays in the dollar store, they have actual DVDs, and they're like frickin' $15. But back in the day, you know, $4, you get this little cardboard box of Three Stooges or Gumby episodes. They're good stuff. But yeah, so that was The Lady from Shanghai. Excellent film. I just found out today that it was based on a book. I really want to learn more about that. You can find a lot of stuff on it, and great film, man. My personal favorite of all the Orson Welles films. Coming up, we've got Scarlet Street. Like I said, this movie, like, more so than many, really sort of sums up film noir. This is like, or I shouldn't say sums up, but it's a perfect example of film noir. You got Edward G. Robinson, who was one of the greats of that day. I mean, so many good movies that he was in. I couldn't even list them all. He starred alongside Frank Sinatra in, what was that, Key Largo. He was in Little Caesar, obviously, which is the movie that everybody knows the accent from, that we will get to eventually. Then you've got Joan Bennett, Dan Daria. This is another great example of the femme fatale in film noir. Edward G. Robinson was a great actor, and he really got the shaft in his day. He was tied up with the McCarthy era blacklist. And so I recently found that out as well. So he was barred from working for a long time in Hollywood. But man, you can't tell when you go back and watch his movies because there's just so many of them. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here. And extra thanks to all the patrons over on Patreon, to all the people who support the channel, who come and hang out and watch in the live chats. Really appreciate you guys. And thank you, Jason, for the $5 super chat we got in the beginning of the show. It means a lot to me, bro. So thank you, brother. And yeah, we're going to get going with 1945's Scarlet Street. Oh man, how could I forget, dude? This is Fritz Lang. If you guys didn't know, Fritz Lang, he made Metropolis. I'm sure all of our homies from the JD circle, we all know Metropolis, right? That's like a classic impressionist film. Dude, so Fritz Lang is one of my favorite directors of this time period, too. Everything that guy made was amazing, dude. Amazing. I totally forgot this was Fritz Lang. So that makes sense why this is such a good movie. part of man, this is really loud. Hopefully, it's not echoing through the thing when I unmute. But part of the femme fatale trope is the way that they rope in. They're kind of like the octopus in that last aquarium scene. They rope in the innocent protagonist and just completely screw him over. And this film is a great example of that. Yes, Lady in the Window, awesome film. Hey, thank you, Jason. Jason sent in another $5 super chat and said, since you're hooking us up with that double feature, I doubled the donut. Well, thank you so much, brother. Thank you, Jason. And yeah, guys, if you like the channel and you want to support, I know we're just kind of doing a little chill stream tonight, so it's no biggie. But if you like the channel and want to support, you can do so via Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. I will read all super chats. And it's just a way to support the channel. Also, we are over on Patreon, so that's another way. Thank you so much, guys.
Well, boys, I hate to break up a good party, but you can't keep a woman waiting, can you? You know how it is.
I bet we do, Mr. Hogarth. That's right, J.J.
I'll say you can't, J.J. I can see you all understand, all right. Well, believe you me, boys, I've had the time of my life tonight. And speaking of time, I have here a 14-carat, 17-jewel timepiece. And that's only right, because the man I'm giving it to is a 14-carat, 17-jewel cashier. Pass it along to him, boys.
Oh, that's a beautiful watch, J.J.
Oh, wonderful.
So, Billy, beautiful watch.
Chris? Read what's engraved inside, Chris.
To my friend Christopher Cross, in token of 25 years of faithful service from J.J. Hogarth, 1909-1934.
Speed! Speak up, Chris, speak up. Come on, Chris, speed.
Well, I hardly know what to say, J.J. This, why, it's beautiful.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
I never expected to own a watch like this.
Trying to pause it at a good point. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I love those street magicians, man. When I was traveling, some of the coolest people I met were street magicians. There's just something cool about that, you know, being able to. I tried my hand a little bit when I was younger, and it's tough, dude. It takes a lot of skill, a lot of talent, a lot of hard work to be able to do good sleight of hand stuff like that. So that's awesome, man.
No, sir, well, all I can say is that we've got the best boss in New York.
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny. Good, Chris.
Congratulations, old boy, congratulations.
Good boy. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, my old granny. God bless you.
Thank you.
Have a smoke before I go.
Well, I don't usually, J.J.
Go ahead and try it. It's made special for me. $1 a piece. Here, Charlie. Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, I get this one mixed
You're
up
not
with
superstitious, are you, Chris?
with Woman in the Window. So honestly, I'm curious to to watch this and to be reminded of which plot this is, because after who mentioned Woman in the Window? Was that First Person Q, or was that Lloyd? Yeah, Lloyd mentioned it. Yeah, I get those two mixed up all the time.
No, sir, no.
Now, don't break up a good party just because I've got to go. Everything is charged to J.J.
Oh, that's very nice of you, boy. Very nice of you.
So drink all you want. Only don't come in late Monday morning with a hangover.
Oh, don't worry, we won't. We'll be right there on time.
Well, good night, boys.
Good night, boys. Thanks again for a swell party. Let's see that watch. That certainly is a beautiful dress.
Oh, boy, aren't you a lucky I'll treasure this for the rest of my life.
I'll bet you will.
Really, I expected to own anything.
Hey, fellas, look! Look! Come here! Hurry! Get a load of that dame. That's JJ's wife. The boss is stepping out.
Say, if I had the dough he's got, I'd step out too. I feel a little laundry tonight.
How funny. This is so ridiculous.
Nothing like the smell of spring.
Which way do you go, Chris?
Well, I guess I'll take the East Side subway. Gets me to Brooklyn a little quicker. Hey, you haven't got an umbrella. Now, I'll take you to your bus.
Oh, no, that's out of your way.
Oh, I don't mind walking, you know, fresh air, spring. Hey, I'm a little drunk.
Well, never mind. I'll catch the next one. You go on over to the subway.
Oh, I don't mind waiting. I feel kind of lonely tonight. Say, Charlie, you suppose JJ is running around with that young lady?
It looks that way.
I wonder what it's like.
What, Chris?
Well, to be loved by a young girl like that. You know, nobody ever looked at me like that. Not even when I was young.
Yes, when we're young, we have dreams that never pan out, but we go on dreaming.
When I was young, I wanted to be an artist. You know, I dreamt I was going to be a great painter someday. So, I'm a cashier.
Do you still paint?
Yeah, every Sunday.
Well, that's one way to kill time. You know, Sunday's one day of the week that I don't like. I never know what to do with myself.
Well, why don't you come over tomorrow and see me?
Thanks, Chris. I'll do that. Good night, Chris.
Good night, Charlie. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, good night.
Fritz Lang has a very interesting
Stop
story.
raining. Yeah.
So Fritz Lang, I don't know it, off the top of my head, but basically, he was a German, and he was in Germany, back in the times of the other well-known painter, and his wife was like a very ardent supporter of that party, and Fritz Lang ended up coming over to America and basically had this story that he had to escape from the Germans to flee, and that he basically switched sides and stuff. But then it came out like later that he never actually fled, and that story was a lie. I apologize that I don't know the whole story off the top of my head, but long story short is basically he was one of them.
Half hour ago. So, which way is it to the East Side subway?
Round the corner, past the L, 4 blocks.
Oh, thank you, officer. I guess I got turned around. These streets are all mixed up in Greenwich Village.
Yeah.
Walking, Eddie. Just keep walking. Don't do it, man. Don't take the bait.
Is he hurt?
I'll go call a policeman.
No, wait! Wait!
What a strange place for a nap.
Officer! Officer!
She slips the guy $5. Thank you.
Where'd they go?
In that direction.
What does he look like?
I don't know.
I didn't see his face.
He took $15. He didn't believe it was all I had, so he began pushing me around. Then this gentleman ran in and knocked him down.
That's right, officer. He was right there.
I couldn't hold him. He got up and ran.
Wait here.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Well, we have to wait for the officer.
I don't want to get my name in the newspaper, do you?
With the newspaper?
Sure, we'll have to go down to the station house and make a complaint. And every time they make an arrest, they send detectives to your house for weeks. Oh, it's a nuisance. Won't you take me home?
Why, yes. Sure, that is, well, if you think that...
Well, here's where I live. Oh, I'm sorry I can't ask you to come up, but I share my apartment with another girl, Miller.
She looks like she's wearing a Tops
Good night,
bag.
and thanks for everything.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys probably don't have Tops groceries. She looks like she's wearing a grocery bag.
Don't you want a cup of coffee?
All right.
I would bet you any money that
Hello.
that outdoor the outdoor location that they filmed is the exact same as Rear Window, because it's got that same underground shop front by the apartment building. I bet you anything that that's the exact same location.
Tony. Oh, this is Mr.
Cross.
Glad to know you, Mr. Cross.
Oh, how do you do?
You seen Johnny?
No, not since he left here.
2 coffees, please.
Oh, I think I'll change my mind. I could stand a drink. A rum Collins.
One rum Collins?
Yes.
Oh, come on. Keep me company.
Well, you see, I've already had a good deal of champagne.
You want champagne?
Oh, no. Make mine the same. Ever since I first saw you, I was wondering what your name was. Kitty.
It's really Catherine. Catherine March. My friends call me Kitty. What do your friends call you?
Chris.
Chris Cross. Chris Cross.
Yes, the boys tease me about it, but I don't mind.
Why are you looking at me? Is my face dirty?
It's beautiful.
I'll bet it is. Ah, gee, I'm a sight.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Cheers, Chris.
Miss March.
Kitty.
Yes, Miss. Kitty. Well, look, Kitty. Since I'm old enough to be your father,
You're not so old.
You don't think so?
Well, you're not a boy. You're just, mature. I like mature people.
Well, what I wanted to say was, you shouldn't be alone in the street so late at night.
I was coming home from work.
You work this late?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Guess.
You're an actress.
Oh, you are clever. Now that you know all about me, tell me about yourself. What do you do?
Well, you see...
No, don't tell me. You work in a bank?
No.
Well, let's see. Greenwich Village is full of artists. I meet you in Greenwich Village. You must be an artist, right?
Well, Yes, I paint.
Of course, you're a painter. I love paintings. To think I took you for a cashier. You know those art galleries on Fifth Avenue? The prices they charge. I saw one little picture that cost $50,000. They called it Cézanne.
Cézanne. Oh, he was a great French painter. I'd like to own that painting.
You would?
Mm.
For $50,000?
Well, you can't put any price on masterpieces like that. They're worth, well, whatever you can afford to pay for them.
You know what, Chris? I bet I saw some of your pictures there and didn't know it. Next time I'll look for your name.
Oh, no. I don't sell my pictures.
Well, not in New York, you mean?
No,
I know. I bet you sell your pictures in Europe, France, or someplace like that. You can tell I don't know much about painting. I bet you get as much for your pictures in France as those Frenchmen get right here in New York.
Mm.
And you're never appreciated in your own country.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. But you know, when I paint, I don't think of money. I just paint for fun.
Fun?
Yes, I think it's the most fun I know, painting. I wish I had all the time to paint.
Well, don't you have time?
Oh, no. Well, yes. You see, well, you know, business takes a lot of time.
No wonder when you get all that money.
Well, what play are you acting in?
It closed tonight.
Which one?
The one I was in. What time is it?
Oh. It's only 2:10.
Only? Oh, it's time for Kitty to be in bed. So you won't forget me.
Thank you. Can't I see you again?
Oh, sure, sometime.
Well, if you'll give me your telephone number.
Haven't got a phone.
Well, may I write you?
That's the address. Good night, Chris.
Kitty, who's Johnny?
Yeah, I thought Edward
Why do you
here,
ask that?
I thought he was a real incel. He's a fake cell, dude. He ain't one of us.
Well, I just heard you ask the bartender.
Oh, sure. He's just a fellow I know. He's Millie's boyfriend. You know, the girl I live with. Good night, Chris.
Are you
Good night, Kitty.
Are you talking about Grace? Or are you talking about that one dark hair lady? You got to be talking about Grace, right? Because she don't look like that other chick. It's sad that I know this, but when I was growing up, we only had like 3 channels. We had Fox 29, WB 49, and then like the 4 and 6, basic cable. And Will and Grace was on all the time. So little 9-year-old me I've seen quite a few episodes of that. So I feel like you got to be talking about Grace, right?
Yes, Adele.
Yeah, Randy, I'd have to agree.
Well, this is a pleasure. I didn't expect to see you, Charlie. But, Chris, you asked me. My wife. Well, it's good to see you anyway. Hey, that was a swell party last night, wasn't it, Charlie? Say, what time would we go home? After midnight, wasn't it? You know, I haven't been to bed yet. You haven't? I guess I'm not as old as I thought I was, eh, Charlie? No. Oh, I've got to do the dishes for Adele. You don't mind, Charlie, do you? No. Go right ahead. Say, did you paint this? Great Scott, no. That isn't painting, that's mud, done by a photographer. Who is it? The late departed. Oh, your wife's former husband. Detective Sergeant Higgins. Homer Higgins. Say, that's a real medal, isn't it? Yeah. Adele got it.
Your wife?
Yeah. After he was drowned in the East River. Jumped in to save a woman. Neither body was found.
Oh. Too bad.
Yeah. Too bad. Oh, thank you, Charlie.
How long have you been married, Chris?
5 years. Well, she didn't want to spend his insurance money, and so she rented out the spare room. Only $4 a week. Well, I was trying to save money to buy paints, and so I moved in. Oh, she was sweet. Thought I wouldn't melt in her mouth. And, well, you know how these things go.
Smoke?
Oh. I guess it was not, huh?
Where are your paintings, Chris?
They're out in the hall. Would you like to see what I did today?
Yes, I'd like to.
I know, right? That's like a whole other level of being cut.
Where did you find a flower like that? You mean, you see this when you look at that?
Well, yes. That is, I sort of feel it. You see, when I look at that flower, I see someone...
Isn't anything private in this house?
I'm sorry, Adele. We better get out of here. All right, Adele.
Can't you get those lazy legs off that couch, baby?
Come here. Can't you do any better than that?
That's all you think about, lazy legs, hmm?
What else is there to think about?
Damn hussy, man.
If you want more heat in this apartment, miss, you'll have to call a janitor.
You idiot.
How come you're holding out on me, baby?
Oh, stop talking about Saturday night.
I'm not talking about Saturday night. I'm talking about this. Sounds like a schoolboy trying to make a date. You must be robbing the cradle. What's so funny?
You are. He's old enough to be my father. That's the old fellow who came to my rescue Saturday night. My hero.
No kidding.
See? You were too tight to remember anything. If I hadn't told the cop to go in the wrong direction, he'd have picked you up.
This the old fellow who butted in?
Mm-hmm.
The painter?
He's rich and famous and very sweet, too, Johnny. He doesn't pull any rough stuff like you.
Well, I had a chance to clean up in a crap game. All I needed was $50. And what did you show up with? 15, for cat's sake.
That's all I had. Besides, you kept me waiting 2 hours in the rain.
And then you gave me a dirty look.
I didn't give you a dirty look.
Listen, any girl who waits 2 hours in the rain for a guy is gonna give him a dirty look. Trouble with you, baby, is you have no imagination.
All right, fine. No more rough stuff. I'll just start punching holes in drywall.
What do you expect me to do?
I expect you to use your brains. But for cat's sake, this chump is crazy about you. This is a setup. He's in the big money, isn't he? You said 50,000 a picture, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here I am, knocking my brains out, trying to raise a little capital, and this is right in your lap. You don't have to call, what's his name, and get a measly 50. This bird is goofy about you. Write him. Date him up.
Oh, I can't take money off an old man like that.
For cat's sake, get
She got
big-hearted
principles.
and smart, lazy legs. Why, I see fellas in the big door without half my brains, but ability isn't enough. You gotta have money to make money. Capital. And the boys at the Acme garage will cut me in on a half interest if I can put up the money.
How much do they want?
Oh, 3,000 or 4,000.
Yikes.
Well, for cat's sake, I'm not talking about chicken feed. Use your imagination. You get an interest in a business like that, and it's a cinch to squeeze out your partners. Then you're on Easy Street.
Jeepers, the pipe dreams you have.
Now, what about the letter?
Oh, I can get 50 or 100 perhaps, but I can't get the kind of money you're talking about. I wouldn't know how. Johnny? Johnny, where are you going?
Well, I won't be wasting my time.
Johnny?
Imagine pining after a dude that looks like that.
Oh, I don't know why I'm so crazy about you.
Oh, yes, you do. Now, what about my proposition? You don't have to tap the old chump for much, not at first. We'll get you a decent apartment, someplace where I like to come and see you, not a dump like this. Well, lazy legs?
May I come into my own apartment?
Hello, funny face.
Why don't you just move in, Johnny, then I can move out. Now, Millie, stop picking on my fiancée.
How do you spell that word? With an F, like in funny face. She pays half the rent, doesn't she?
Well, that was the general idea, Big Shot, when we signed the lease.
Well, I don't mind if you want this place to yourself. Do you, baby?
Dude, for real. And those hats were so popular back then. I forget what they called them.
What do you mean by that?
But like they were hip.
Johnny.
Yeah, I know Johnny all right.
Has he bought you that engagement ring yet? Oh, you seem to worry more about it than I do. The new $45 model. Old Rogers let me have it for 18. Bet he made a profit at that. I thought you were modeling girdles for the catalog. I have been. Oh. I ache like a dog. Of course it's ever come back. I swear I'll quit modeling. Why don't you go back to work? With that figure, if you weren't so darn lazy. Who do you think you are? My guardian angel? Not me, honey. I lost those wings a long time ago. That's what I thought. No wonder you got fired. You're so darn snippy. You never could get to work on time after you met that Johnny. Honey, what's happened to you? Don't you wish it could happen to you? I'm in love, crazy in love. With a man that pushes you around the way I wouldn't push a cat around. You leave Johnny out of this. With your looks and figure, you could get any man you want. Sure, but there's only one I want. Yeah, and he's making a tramp out of you. You wouldn't know love if it hit you in the face. If that's where it hit you, you ought to know.
What happened to you? Ever since the doctor prescribed you cocaine, you haven't been the same since. I want my friend back. Yeah, for real.
That robin sings just like I feel. Hey, look, there's a pair of them up there. They're building their nest.
Say, where'd you learn that?
Oh, when I was a kid. Yeah, I bet I haven't done that in 40 years. Yeah, I feel like a kid myself today.
Poor old fool.
Sold any pictures lately? Why don't you paint my picture?
I'd like to. Could I bring my easel to your apartment?
Oh, I'm afraid my girlfriend wouldn't like that. How long does it take you to paint a picture?
Well, sometimes a day, sometimes a year. You can't
Where
tell.
do you get your ideas
It has
from?
to grow.
I never knew paint could grow.
Feeling grows. You know, that's the important thing, feeling. Well, now you take me. Well, nobody ever taught me how to draw, so I just put a line around what I feel when I look at things.
Yeah, I see.
It's like falling in love, I guess. You know, first you see someone, and then it keeps growing, and until you can't think of anyone else.
That's interesting.
Well, the way I look at things, that's all art is. Every painting, if it's any good, is a love affair.
I never heard anyone talk like that before.
Oh, well, there aren't many people you can talk to this way. So you keep it to yourself. You walk around with everything bottled up.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way it is with me, too. I'm sort of keeping things bottled up, too, Chris. The truth is, I'm in a jam.
You, Kitty?
Oh, you probably guessed it. I'm broke. Even this dress belongs to me.
I'm a Nigerian prince.
Millie, I can't pay my rent.
Well, how much is it?
Oh, forget it. I shouldn't have told you. It'll spoil your day.
Oh, but Kitty...
I'll get out of it somehow. I couldn't take anything from you, Chris.
No. Yes, I mean...
No, I couldn't. I've never taken money from a man, and I'm not going to now. And I'm not going to spoil our friendship.
Oh, but Kitty,
I couldn't pay you back.
Oh.
Chris, maybe I could pay you back. If you put up the money for a studio apartment, then I'd have a place to live and you could paint there. Don't you see? You could paint my portrait. What's the matter? Don't you want to paint my picture?
There's something I've got to tell you, Kitty.
What?
I deceived you. I lied. I'm a married man, Kitty.
Why didn't you tell me, Chris? You know I'm not the kind of girl to run around with a married man, don't you? You know what you said about meeting someone, how you begin to like them, and you can't think about anybody else? You should have told me you had a wife, Chris.
Yes, but I'm not in love with her, Kitty.
You married her.
Well, I was lonely. I couldn't stand my loneliness.
Poor Chris.
Well, then you're not angry with me?
I suppose I ought to be, but I'm not. Not with you, Chris. I'm going to let you help me.
Well, how much do you need?
$500.
So he's gonna do it. Of course. Come on, Chris. Another fallen brother. Oh, if you're married, that'll be $600.
I need $500. I could pay it back $10 a week.
That's all right, Mr. Cross. But you'll have to have a co-signer.
Thank you, no.
Property owner.
Dude's taking out a loan.
Property owner?
Just a formality.
Thank you very much.
Anytime.
Well, why can't that old skinflint Hogarth give you a raise? You don't even make enough money to buy me a radio. I have to run downstairs every night to listen to the radio. The way I have to scrimp and save and you wasting money on paints. I'd like to know what you'd do without me. Oh, dear Homer.
Yeah, that's a whole other level of simping. I don't know a single person that would take out a loan for a woman. My goodness.
Favorite, I could put some flowers. Why, you couldn't even ask me to marry you. I had to put the words into your mouth. I'd have been better off a widow. The only reason I put up with you is because I'm married to you. I'm stuck.
Yes, and I'm stuck, too.
Have you been drinking?
No, I haven't.
Let me smell your breath. No. Then what's the matter with you? Why are you shouting at me?
Well, you keep blaming me for not buying you a radio.
But you think I like running downstairs every night to listen to the radio?
Well, why don't you buy a radio? You have money.
His insurance money?
Well, I don't want a radio. You want it.
I'll never touch those bonds. They're for my old age. If Homer were alive, I'd have a radio. He made a good salary. He gave me a good home.
Well, you're living in the same apartment, aren't you?
Yes, but it didn't smell of paint. I can't sleep with the smell of paint. And all your silly pictures cluttering up the hall. If you don't get rid of that trash, I swear I'll give it to the junk man.
Adele.
I will. I swear I will. And the things you paint. It was bad enough when you used to copy picture postcards.
Well, Utrilio copies postcards, and he's considered a great painter.
Now I suppose you're copying Utrillo, or whatever his name is. They're getting crazier all the time. Oh, yes. I saw what you're doing. Girls. Snakes. Next thing you'll be painting women without clothes.
I never saw a woman without any clothes.
I should hope not.
Yeah, she gives me big vibes like that Twilight Zone episode.
The happy household hours.
Time
just
enough at
coming
last.
on, dear.
I'll be right down, Dora. Mr. Cross came home late. Go ahead and eat. And then do the dishes.
This is the Happy Household Hour, brought to you at this time by Happy Hour Bubble Suds. No soap gives you more happiness, more washings, and more suds per package than Happy Hour Bubble Suds. Ask your nearest grocer for the large economy-sized package today. And now for the next episode of Hilda's Hope for Happiness. As you remember, we left Hilda in the laundry washing with Bubble Suds.
Hey, shout out. We got a $4 super chat in. Thank you so much. They said, awesome work, man. Thanks for all you do. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Christopher! Christopher! What are you doing?
I was looking for the paper.
Are you blind?
Oh. Well, didn't you like the radio?
It went off right in the middle of a program. I wouldn't have such a radio.
Hey, did you read this?
Read what?
This murder in Queens. A man killed his wife with a window weight, put her body in the trunk and shipped it to California. It says here...
I've read the paper, thank you. He didn't get away with it, did he? He'll go to the chair, as he should.
Yeah. Man hasn't got a chance with these New York detectives.
Can't you put that paper down and do the dishes?
Adele, you didn't mean what you said about giving my paintings away to the junk man.
You'll find out.
Well, you won't have to. A friend of mine is taking an apartment in Greenwich Village. I'll move everything there.
Well, if he's fool enough to let you do it, go ahead. The sooner the better.
Yeah.
Top floor, you'll get plenty of light, lots of privacy. You've heard of Tony Rivera, the illustrator? He had this apartment on a 3-year lease. Couldn't work anywhere else. This was his studio. The sketches on the wall are Rivera's. He'd do that with his models sometimes when he was working on a magazine cover. Some people pay a lot of money for those. Are you an artist, Miss March?
Uh-huh. Where's the bedroom?
Oh, this way.
What's the rent, Mr. Jones?
150. Oh, there are some things that Rivera left here stored in the basement. They go with the apartment if you care to use them. Here you are. Bedroom.
I don't like the wallpaper.
Will they change the paper?
I guess so, on a year's lease.
I'll pick it out myself.
Dude's buying an apartment for a girl and her boyfriend. Can you imagine?
Well, don't break the bank.
Hello, Lazy Legs.
I thought I heard the doorbell.
I didn't hear anything.
Say, is this all you've got?
I'm lucky I have that left the way you were throwing it around last night.
Real class act.
You even bought me a book, honey.
You're supposed to be an actress, aren't you?
Shakespeare, for Pete's sake. Say, that's all I have left.
You know where to get more, don't you, Lazy Legs?
Told me he hadn't sold any pictures for a long time. And I'm in hock for all this.
Look, Kitty. I need at least $1,000.
Ouch!
Well, you got him softened up. Now, push him around a bit.
He seems to get scared when I talk about money.
Listen, baby, you got him right where you want him. He's on the hook and can't get off.
He can walk out, can't he?
He's got a wife, hasn't he? Just drop a hint that his wife might find out about this apartment and he'll shell out fast.
That's blackmail.
It's only blackmail, baby, when you're dumb enough to get caught. Is that him?
Told you I heard the doorbell.
For God's sake, get rid of him.
It's fine. He'll just take out another loan to keep pretending like he's rich.
Don't you answer doorbells? Thought you were mad at me. Peace offering. Scotch. Thanks, honey. I didn't think you were out. It's only 12:10. I rang downstairs and I found the door was open. Well. You're doing all right for a working girl. Now, don't start that again. Don't tell me he's under the sofa, too. No, bright eyes. You can come out, Johnny.
All you have to do is call, funny face. Oh.
You must have made a killing in Wall Street, Mr. Prince.
Could be.
Last time I saw Johnny, he was talking about going to Hollywood.
I might try it yet. Well, I read in a movie magazine about a fellow who landed in Hollywood stone broke and cleaned up $1 million. No experience either. All he had was looks. And he worked in a drugstore.
If he worked, Johnny, he didn't look like you. Oh, you two stop fighting.
I'm not fighting, baby. She just doesn't know my speed. Why, here are movie actors getting $5,000-$10,000 a week. For what? For acting tough. For pushing girls in the face. What do they do I can't do?
If you're so clever, why don't you do it?
I might, funny face. I might.
Chris!
I brought over some of my things, Kitty. I'll bring some more tomorrow. The rest on Saturday. Oh, you have company.
Well, just Millie and Johnny.
Sure.
You know, Millie's boyfriend. Come on, I want you to meet them. Millie, this is a friend of mine, Mr. Cross, Miss Ray.
How do you do, Miss Ray?
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Cross. And Johnny Prince.
Glad to know you, Mr. Cross.
How do you do? It seems to me I've seen you before somewhere.
Could be. Could be, Mr. Cross.
Yes, I just don't seem to remember. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Could be.
Well, I'll have to run along, kid.
I'll go with you, sweetheart.
Oh, don't bother, Johnny.
I wouldn't think of letting you go alone, darling. You might get run over by a streetcar. Goodbye, Mr. Cross.
Bye.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for the scotch, Millie. That's okay. Bye.
Come on, Kitty.
So long, Johnny. Now, what's the matter, Chris?
I don't think I like that young man she's in love with.
Oh, Johnny's all right.
Oh, I know he is, or he wouldn't be a friend, but there's something about him that...
She's crazy about him.
Would you like to see my pictures?
Not yet. Come sit down, Chris. You happy?
For the first time in my life.
Very happy?
I think of you all the time. All I want is to see you, be near you. I know I haven't any right to ask you this, but have you ever... Well, there must have been other men who...
Just one, Chris.
You still see him?
I've forgotten him.
Look, Kitty, if I were single, if I had no wife...
But you have a wife.
Yes, I know, but if she'd... well, if something would happen that would make me free... Would you marry me?
Oh, let's not talk about it now, dear. What I'm worried about is getting a job. Living like this, it's expensive. I don't like to ask you for anything more because, well, you say you haven't sold any pictures lately.
Yes, but don't you have enough money?
No, you have no idea what the problem money is for an actress, Chris. Talent doesn't count in the theater. Everything is pull, contacts, knowing the right people. You have to get an agent. They charge plenty. Wear smart clothes. Be attractive.
Oh, but Kitty, you're beautiful.
Ah, Chris. Your face doesn't mean a thing. It's clothes, perfumes, making the right impression. Why, an actress needs $1,000 just to get a decent wardrobe.
$1,000?
At least. Maybe I can borrow it from Millie. Or her boyfriend, Johnny. He's got plenty of money.
Oh, no, Kitty, not from Johnny.
Why not?
Well, I'll get you the money some way.
Chris, you're a darling. I really believe you're in love with me.
I am, Kitty, I am.
Oh, man, dude, it's painful.
Chris, you're a caveman. I like you to like me, but, well, there's a limit.
Yes, I know.
There's a limit. There's a
Well, I've got to go.
limit.
I'm supposed to be back. I'll come here tomorrow noon, Kitty.
I'll be waiting for you. I'm sorry you have to go. Bye-bye, dear. Oh. Don't forget the money.
I'll get it.
Man, what a bad actress.
Bye-bye, Chris.
She can't even pretend to be a good person. Oh, yeah, he's another one. Very funny looking. Yeah, Jason, pretty soon he's going to be freaking sticking up banks and God only knows what else.
I don't get it. The poor sap must be a hophead seeing snakes on the L. Imagine anyone paying money for this stuff? Say, are you sure he's not a phony?
Ah, he's too dumb to be a phony.
You're right there.
And how would he get all the money? Why, if he had to work for a living, he couldn't make $50 a week. You just don't know art.
Maybe not, but I'm gonna find out about it.
I kind of like this one. But where would you find flowers like that?
I wonder if I couldn't sell these.
And what do I do when he asks where they are?
Say you put them in storage. You know, you gotta protect them. You can't leave valuable paintings lying around where somebody can pick them up.
You'd get in trouble. Any gallery'd know his work. He tried to kiss me today. And don't think I liked it.
Oh, you've been kissed before. Say, they're not even signed.
Oh, that doesn't matter. They'd know him.
Not where I take them, baby.
Johnny, I can't stand to have anybody touch me but you. I hate him when he looks at me like that. If he were mean or vicious or if he bawled me out or something, I'd like him better. Oh, you don't love me or you'd understand what I mean.
No?
No.
Yeah, he was a big-time actor. I see him in a lot of these old noir movies. He's another one. Looks really funny, got a really weird voice.
No?
Well, maybe.
Working late tonight, Mr. Cross? Oh, I'm about through, Ben. You can let me out in a minute.
Yes, sir.
Steal from work. That's a great idea.
I just caught you in time. Cash this for me, will you, Chris? It's personal.
Yes. Yes, of course, J.J.
Dude, for real. I think the Den of Vipers analogy fits better in this movie than the last one, dude. Yeah. Yeah, the movie kind of plays him up like he's,
Thank you, Chris.
like we
Good
should
night.
feel bad for
Night,
him. But it's like, how can you feel bad for this guy? Like, he's getting taken advantage of because he's, you know, because he's sinning, in a sense.
Hello, man.
Hi. He opened the door.
What you got?
The fella that painted those gets 50 grand for a single picture. Hey, what's the matter with you, Nick?
Where'd you pick 'em up? Over in Washington Square? The village longhairs are peddling junk like that for the price of the canvas.
These weren't painted by any village longhair.
That's my pawn shop, isn't it? And that snake is strictly from the Bronx.
This fella lives in Brooklyn. He's famous.
Yeah, what's his name?
Well, Look, Nick, I brought you stuff before and you never asked for any name on it.
That was jewelry. Bring me some more of that and we can do business, Johnny. Take this junk back to Washington Square where you got it.
I can see you've got an eye for art. That's one of my best.
Take a look at these.
Oh, I didn't know you were a painter.
I'm not. Are they any good?
Well, they've got something. A certain peculiar something, but no perspective.
Is that important?
I should say it is. Look at my painting. Where did you buy them?
I didn't buy them. I want to sell them.
Oh, you want me to sell them on commission?
How much do you think they're worth?
I always start everything at 25. Then, you know, it's a hard business selling pictures. Yeah, people don't buy art nowadays. No appreciation, no taste, no perception.
And no perspective, huh?
Let me have your name and address.
I'll come back later. So long.
Oh, Johnny.
Hiya, Tiny.
Where'd you get that?
Off, Nick.
Well, what about my ring?
You know how much a good diamond costs?
Well, I gave you $900.
Would you pipe down? You've been telling me what a dope the old guy is. Maybe you're the dope. He told you his paintings are worth a lot of money. Did you check up on his story?
What's wrong with it?
They're worth just $25 a piece. That's what's wrong with
You're crazy.
If I weren't a gentleman.
Well, don't get sore.
Well, then don't tell me I'm crazy. I tell you, the old boy's a phony.
His money isn't phony, is it?
He could borrow dough or have it stashed away. Or even steal it.
Chris steal? Jeepers, Johnny, he's not the type. He wouldn't have nerve enough to steal.
Well, he didn't get it from his pictures.
He may be dumb, but not about art. The day he took me to the museum, he explained how everything was done. You should have heard him. People stood around and listened.
What museum?
The Metropolitan. Yipe. They've got pictures there worth $1 million. Where are you going?
I'm gonna make a monkey out of you, lazy legs.
You can't take his pictures to the museum.
Who says I can't?
You know who bought them? Janeway. A Damon Janeway. Don't you know who Mr. Janeway is? He's an art critic. The best authority in New York on modern art. He took one look and bought them both. I couldn't even give him my pictures, not for nothing. He wants to get hold of you. They told me to telephone him. You wait here, huh? No.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Oh, man,
For cat's sake, what's so funny?
You are smarty pants. You're the Mr. Fix-It who was gonna make a monkey out of poor, dopey little kitty. So you gave away 2 pictures for a couple of dimes, and now you can't collect the dimes.
Oh, dry up.
Jeepers.
Now what?
What am I gonna tell Chris?
He won't find out.
The heck he won't. That Janeway's a critic. He writes for the newspapers.
Ah.
Golly, you got us in a spot. I told you not to do it.
You're just nervous. The old guy who sold him doesn't know me from Adam.
Say, give me that drink. I can use it.
Chris?
He's got a key.
Yeah, he's afraid. I mean, he could collect, but he's afraid basically that because the guy's an art critic, he's going to write about it. And then dude's going to see his own stuff in the papers and all of that. So he feels like he can't really go to the critic to collect the money.
Well, go ahead. See who it is. Hurry up.
But I'm sure you can see where it's going. I'm sure they're going to cook up an idea here.
Oh, I beg your pardon, but we're looking for a man, and I'm afraid I don't know his name.
Oh, and I'm afraid I can't help you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, look! There!
Just invite yourself in.
These are his... Oh, there he is. Why did you run away from me like that, huh? Here, $50, less 20%.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But the pictures you brought me.
Perhaps we'd better introduce ourselves. My name is Janeway. This is Mr. Delarue.
How do you do?
What is it you want?
We'd like to find out who painted the pictures.
You don't know?
Of course they don't know. That's what we're here for.
Look, if you're a friend of the painter, you will put Mr. Delarue in touch with him.
Why'd you buy those pictures if you don't know who painted them?
Because they're good.
Who painted them?
No, Johnny, no.
Oh, don't be so modest, Miss March. Now, you see, you got me in bed. She made me promise not to tell. That's why I made out like I didn't know. She's funny about her painting. Never lets anyone see it. Doesn't even put her name on her pictures.
So I observed. You're an extraordinary artist, Miss March.
Oh, no.
See, she can't stand for anybody to talk about her. She got the idea her pictures weren't any good. That's why I took those two to you, to give her confidence. I knew they were good. Now I'll take that money.
I never would have guessed it was a woman.
Nor I. Your work is very strong, Miss March.
May we see some more of it?
Sure, go ahead. Look in the studio.
Thank you.
You're crazy to try a thing like this.
Cat's sake, I thought they were cops. I know what I'm doing. They don't know from nothing.
I can't fool that critic.
You always wanted to be an actress. Now's your chance. You've been around the old boy long enough to pick up his lingo. Feed Janeway some of that. I'll get him in here along with you.
No, no, wait.
How long has she been painting?
Ever since she was a kid, Mr. Janeway.
Never went to art school, did she?
No, she just picked it up. I guess I'm the only one who's been encouraging her, kind of helping her along. As a friend, you know, just a friend.
Oh, I didn't get your name.
Prince. Say, Mr. Janeway, she's kind of upset. Maybe you'd go in and talk to her.
Glad to.
Now he's going to try to get her hooked up with him.
Well, Mr. Delarue?
Dude's legit a pimp.
I wonder if Miss March would let me have all of these.
Well, that depends. What's in it for her?
Well, prices will have to be built up, Mr. Prince, but...
I can usually tell whether a canvas has been painted by a man or woman. But you fooled me completely, Miss March. Your work is not only original, it has a masculine force. How long does it take you to paint a picture?
Sometimes a day, sometimes a year. You can't tell. It has to grow.
Of course.
It's a matter of feeling. You know how feeling grows? It's like falling in love, I guess.
That's a very good description.
The way I look at it, every painting, if it's any good, is a love affair.
May I quote that?
Oh, no, no, no. Please don't write about me.
I can see you're going to be a very hard case. Why don't you have confidence in your work?
Because I can't draw.
You do all right.
I just put a line around what I feel when I look at things.
You're a very stimulating person to talk to.
How you two getting along?
They're con men, but they're retarded. It's like they're just flying by the seat of their pants.
Oh.
I think I'm breaking the ice.
Kitty, Mr. Delarue wants to handle all your work exclusively. Is it all right?
Well, that...
As a friend, I'd advise...
What she was just saying is what Edward G. Robinson, Chris, what he was saying to her earlier.
Is it?
Could you come to the galleries tomorrow?
What time?
Any time that's convenient.
How about 12 o'clock? And then lunch afterward with me.
Well,
She'll be there.
I'm glad you're around, Mr. Prince, to make up her mind for her. I can see you're tired, Miss March. This has been enough for one evening. We'd better go. Until tomorrow.
Thanks, Mr. Janeway. So long.
Good evening.
Night, Mr. Delaro.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
I mean, usually, you hear stories of con men like Catch Me If You Can. It's like this like brilliant scheme, that's well thought out, and these people are just like bumbling, falling into into plots.
Lazy legs. I don't know what you told Janeway, but you got 'em eating right out of your hand.
It won't stop with lunch.
Well, what's the difference?
If you mean...
Oh, stop acting like a green kid. Let him talk about what he wants to talk about, and he won't talk about art.
If I had any sense, I'd walk out on you.
You haven't got any sense.
Clearly she doesn't if she's with that dude. This guy just smacks her every 2 seconds. Pimps her out.
Right here, just like you'd sign a letter. Come on. Catherine March.
Kitty!
For cat's sake. Put that one back.
Kitty!
Chris!
Oh, Kitty, I happen to be in the nick.
Oh, hello, Mr. Cross. I just dropped in. I thought Millie was here. See, I hope you don't mind my looking at your picture.
Oh, no, not at all, Mr. Prince.
Fine work, that. Remarkable painting. You have a little trouble with perspective, don't you?
Yes, that's one thing I never could master. Perspective.
Well, I guess I'll have to run along. So long, Mr. Cross. If Millie drops in, tell her I'll be at Tiny's place. Don't bother. I'll let myself out.
Has he been here long?
No, why?
I don't like him.
Oh, Johnny's all right. He's a nice fellow, Chris. Really is. I don't know why you don't like him.
Well, was he the one?
One what?
No, so...
Well, you said there was one man.
Oh, for hell...
So this movie isn't under any copyright. It's in the public domain. The copyright ran out years ago. The name of the first movie was Lady from Shanghai. We're on the second film of the double feature tonight. So this is Scarlet Street.
For heaven's sake, won't you ever forget that?
Well, was he?
No.
Kitty.
Go ahead and paint if you want to. I'm not going to stick around if you're going to torment me.
Kitty. Oh, Kitty.
Oh, leave me alone. I'm going out for dinner.
Kitty, don't be angry.
Why do you come here if you want to quarrel? I didn't ask you to come here.
Oh, please, Kitty.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Go and paint.
Well, I can't. I can't do a thing when you're angry with me. Do you want me to go?
I want you to stay here and paint.
Could be.
Chris, I'm sorry, Chris, but why do you torment me about something that's over and done with?
Well, because Would you marry me?
You can't.
Well, something might happen.
What? You better not let your wife hear you talking like that. Of course I'd marry you if you were free, but you're not, so let's not talk about it. Now you go on and paint.
Well, could I paint you?
Well, I was going to do this myself, but, paint me, Chris. They'll be masterpieces.
Gee, I wonder if he's gonna come across his art in the wild.
Hello, Adele. I dropped over to the butcher shop like you told me to. I got a nice piece of liver.
How long have you known Catherine March?
Homeboy wearing an
Answer
apron.
me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How long have you known her?
Well, now, don't get excited. Let me help you off with your coat.
Well, you're the one that's excited. Look at you. Get away with that knife. Do you want to cut my throat?
Maybe.
How long have you known her?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't lie to me. You've been copying her work for years. Pretending you painted those pictures out of your own head, and all the time you were just copying the work of a real artist. I'll bet you're at Delarose every day making notes.
Where?
You know where. Delarose Art Gallery on 57th Street. They've got a window full of paintings by Catherine March.
You're talking crazy.
She gets $500 for a single picture. She's a genius. No wonder I used to think sometimes there was something in your work. Now I know why. If you ever do any more painting around here, I swear I'll write that woman a letter telling her you're stealing her ideas. You're a thief.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot about that. That's how he finds out about she's stealing his work.
Out. Or next thing you were stealing his money.
Not that one, honey.
Delarose asking for more pictures.
Chris just finished it. He'll miss it.
Janeway says the new pictures are the best things you've done.
So when I was a youngin', I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to be a director. That's why I had the portfolio full of writing and scripts and all that. And so when I was in high school, we had an organization called Erie One BOCES, and it was a trade school, and you could submit to be in these programs where you'd spend 2 years, your last 2 years of high school, leaving school half the day to go to the BOCES building where you would study anything you wanted. They had all sorts of programs. They had some for auto shop mechanics. They had cosmetology for girls that wanted to get certified for hair and nails and all that stuff. And I did TV and sound production, where we got certified in video editing and Pro Tools, and then Premiere, Adobe Premiere. So I got certified in all that, and they taught us how to do copyright, and they taught us how to do all that stuff. It was fun, man. It was an amazing class. It was 2 years of leaving high school half the day to go and jam with a bunch of everybody in the TV and sound class were artists. So I was just surrounded by artists. We were all playing music and making movies and stuff. It was really fun class. So yeah, I never went to college, but I went to a trade school in high school.
Wasn't I right about Janeway, Lazy Leg?
Yeah, but he gets on my nerves. I've been out to dinner with him 3 times this week, and now he's talking about breakfast. He's getting that look in his eye.
All you gotta do is keep it there.
Well, it's all very well for you to say, but what about the wear and tear on my nerves?
Papa will take care of Kitty. Baby's gonna have a big diamond ring, and a shiny limousine, and a penthouse.
And Johnny?
He goes with the penthouse.
Chris.
How did my pictures get into Delarose's window?
Oh, Chris. Don't be angry with me.
No, I'm not angry. I just can't understand. It's not possible.
Forgive me, darling. I needed money. They were going to take the furniture back. It was humiliating. I couldn't ask you for more. You've been so generous. I just couldn't. So I sold some pictures.
To Delarose?
Uh-huh.
You actually sold those pictures?
Uh-huh. Oh, I know I shouldn't have put my name on them, but Mr. Delarose wanted to know who painted him, and I just couldn't give him your name. No, I can't tell him different.
What a dupe.
Can I?
No.
Funny part is it didn't seem to make any difference.
Yes, well, the funny part is it made a great deal of difference. If I'd bought those pictures to a man like Delarose, he wouldn't have taken them. I'm a failure, Kitty.
Oh, you're a great painter, Chris. Mr. Delarose said so, and so did Mr. Janeway. That is, they say I am.
Well, they're going to keep on saying it.
Oh, Chris.
Oh, now don't, Kitty. Now don't cry. I'm happy. Why, you're just like a dream.
Oh, Chris, you're so good, so kind.
Well, what difference does it make whose name is on those pictures, yours or mine? Why, you're just like we were married. Only I take your name. Well, that gives me a little authority around here. I want to paint your picture, Kitty.
The guy's too dumb to, like, hate, but he's also, you know, too bad to empathize with.
Come with me. Know what we're going to call this? Self-portrait.
Nice one.
Hello, Damon.
Hello there.
Hello. Well, this is the first time I've ever agreed with you, Janeway.
Thank you.
I find the painter even more fascinating than a painting.
You stole my legacy? You're hanging out with dudes at the apartment I got you? Why would I be mad?
She liked Mona Lisa without the smile. Something hidden.
Sometimes it seems as if she were two people. I mentioned that in my notice. Would you care to see it?
I had two exhibitions like that when I was right out of high school because I like to paint, and I would walk around downtown Buffalo and I'd check out all the art galleries and stuff, you know, like the little independent ones, and I'd say, hey, can I do a show here? So I ended up having two art shows. It was pretty cool, man. It was cool. I got to sell some of my paintings and stuff. It's a fun little thing.
Cross, his man outside says he wants to see you.
Who?
I ain't get no name, sir, but he said he was a detective.
And it's funny too because like I always tell people that, like, oh yeah, I used to sell my paintings, but like I'm not a good painter. Like my paintings sucked, dude. Like as far as like actual skill goes, terrible. I did acrylic paint, and then towards the end there I was doing soft pastels, and I have fun with it, but I am not a talented painter. David asked, do I still keep a sketchbook going? Yeah, so I go through like phases where I like start painting and drawing and stuff like every day, and I do it a bunch, and then I go a year without doing it. So it's been probably a year since I've painted anything, but like on my Facebook I've got pictures of it up and stuff.
You the detective?
Well, I used to be, Mr. Cross. Don't you recognize me? Quite a shock, huh? Now, don't faint, Mr. Cross. Keep your head. I'll explain everything. Well, I was in trouble at the time. I'd been collecting a little extra money from the speakeasies along the waterfront. Word got around the headquarters. I was up for investigation. One night I'm down by Brooklyn Bridge trying to fix things up. A man runs in the speakeasy and says, a woman just jumped off the bridge. So I run out and tear off my coat, jump in. The way I felt, I'm hoping I don't come up again. You mind? No. Well, there I am swimming around in the dark. I had hold of her hat once. Next thing I know, I'm all tired out. I heard a tugboat whistle and right down on top of me comes a coal barge. So I grab a hole and climb aboard. I look down my hand. What do you think I got? Her pocketbook. That's what I grabbed a hold of when I thought it was her hat. And inside is $2,700 in folding money. Imagine anybody committing suicide with that much money. Well, the coal barge unloaded on a banana boat bound for Honduras. Well, I went with it.
Yes, but if you're not dead, then I'm not really married to Adele, am I?
What's it worth to you for me to keep my mouth shut and just fade away?
You didn't like her either.
Yes, but if you're Adele's husband...
Wait a minute. I can see you need Adele. I need money. You're a cashier. It ought to be easy for you to put your hands on a couple of thousand.
Oh, I couldn't do a thing like that. You're going back to her?
No. But not to do you a favor, mister. I'm clearing out for Adele's sake. And don't think you're going to get any peace of mind either. I might turn up again someday. She'd kick you out in a minute for a man like me.
I'll get you some money.
Now you're using your head.
Yeah, but you'll have to wait here. I can't get it till after we close at 6 o'clock.
I'll wait, Cross.
Hello, Johnny. Hello, Kitty.
Hi, Marquetti.
Hi.
Don't forget the champagne, baby.
Nice car you have, Johnny. She go fast, huh?
I'd like to see any cop try to catch me. Say, I'll give you 4 bits for a bucket full of that ice.
Okay, Johnny.
Can I borrow the ice pick?
You give it back, huh?
Sure.
Thank you.
I wonder if that ice pick's
Only
gonna come up
200?
later.
Well, that's all I could get.
Don't you think your wife's worth more than that?
Well, look, I want you to get all that's coming to you, Mr. Higgins. Now, what about the insurance money?
Insurance?
Yeah, $2,000 on your life. Adele collected it. It's really yours, isn't it? She keeps it right in her bedroom. Now, I wouldn't touch a penny of it, Mr. Higgins, but if you took it, it would be perfectly legal.
But just how would I get it?
That's easy. This is the night that she always goes out to the movies. I let you in. You take the money. I let you out.
But why don't you get it?
Oh, I got to be able to say that I didn't touch it. You know, Adele.
What if she don't go out and I show up? Your goose is cooked, isn't it?
Yes, but I can play it safe.
How?
Well, you come along the street at 11 o'clock tonight.
Okay? Why are you whispering? How come the lights are on?
Mrs. Michaels. You remember Mrs. Michaels, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And the neighbors. the money. In there, in the bottom drawer of the chest. Okay. Give me the flash.
Please! Murder! Christopher! Christopher, get on the light! Christopher!
Well, that takes care of that one.
Johnny. Oh, Johnny.
Lazy legs.
Jeepers, I love you. What's that? Chris? Johnny, is it Chris?
Yeah, jump off
Call
the
him
building.
quick. Chris! Chris!
I ought to push you over on your head.
How did I know he was coming here tonight? I don't understand it.
You don't understand anything.
Well, why get sore at
Well,
me?
what use are my brains if I'm tied up with a dumb clerk like you? I told you to watch your step, didn't I?
That's right. Blame it on me.
Oh, why'd you keep me here tonight? I didn't want to stay.
Johnny, don't talk like that.
Well, it's the truth. I'm fed up with you.
Johnny.
That's the only thing you ever understood. I'm through with you.
Jeepers, I love you, Johnny. Jeepers, I love you, Johnny.
Cucked at every
Oh,
turn.
Lord, have mercy upon us sinners. The way of the sinner is made plain with stones, but the end thereof is the pit of hell. Oh, Lord, be merciful to me, a sinner.
Millie? Yeah, Kitty. You seen Johnny? Oh, I thought he'd go to Tiny's. Was he getting tight? Oh, just a fight. Listen, he can't live without me any more than I can live without him. Said he was coming
Literally.
back here to beat
That was a part of the code. That was a part of the Hayes film code, was the bad guys couldn't get away with it.
me up. Jeepers, the way that guy shoots off his mouth. Oh, you don't have to warn me. That's just the way he talks. If you were in love, you'd understand. Oh, stop it. Johnny wouldn't kill a fly. That's love, honey. Here he is now. And has he got a bun on? Goodbye, hon. Hello, Johnny. Come on, Johnny. I heard you.
You lied to me, Kitty. Was him, wasn't it?
Can I help it if I'm in love?
No, just an infatuation. You couldn't love a man like that, Kitty. He's evil. He wouldn't let you alone, isn't that right?
He still don't get it.
I wanted to kill him. Well, that's wrong.
Why'd you come here?
To ask you to marry me.
What about your wife?
I haven't any wife. That's finished.
For cat's sake,
My
you don't...
husband turned up. I'm free. Oh, now, don't cry, Kitty. I know how you feel, but that's all over now. We all make mistakes.
So
I don't care what's happened. I can marry you now. I want you to be my wife. We'll go away together, way far off, so you can forget this other man. Don't cry, Kitty. Please don't cry.
I'm not crying, you fool. I'm laughing.
Kitty.
Oh, you idiot. How can a man be so dumb?
Kitty.
I wanted to laugh in your face ever since I first met you. You're old and ugly, and I'm sick of you. Sick, sick, sick.
Kitty, for heaven's sake.
You killed Johnny? I'd like to see you try. Why, he'd break every bone in your body. He's a man. You don't want to marry me? You? Get out of here. Get out. Get away from me. Chris! Chris, get away from me! Chris! Chris!
The old ice pick to the ribcage. Old Faithful is what they call it.
Hey! Oh, you look out, Johnny. You kill somebody.
Chris!
Hold on, Chris. Wait a minute. What made you do it, Chris? When these officers called me, I wouldn't believe it.
We were tipped off on the telephone.
By a man named Higgins. I checked the cash before you came in. You know how much is missing? Over $1,200.
We'll take him along. You can make the complaint, Mr. Hogarth.
Hold on, boys. I just can't do it.
But, Mr. Hogarth...
I know you've done your duty, and I'm obliged to you. There's a box of cigars on the table. Take them along with you.
Okay, Mr. Hogarth. It's up to you.
Chris, it was a woman, wasn't it? I thought so. I'm not going to put you in jail, Chris. Only, of course, you're through.
You forgot the code. Bros before hoes, Chris.
Well, I didn't do anything. I want a lawyer.
Where was he picked up? Riverside Drive. He tried to get away in the murdered girl's car.
That was my car.
This is yours, too. It's got your initials on it. But it's her blood. His $140 was taken out of her pocketbook.
It was mine.
Are you talking
It's
about
her
Chris?
diamond ring. Worth,
Edward G. Robinson was Chris.
$500 or $600.
You guys know a lot, don't you? It cost $1,200.
Here's her personal jewelry.
Not much value, but he cleaned her out.
Well, why wouldn't I? She didn't have any more use for it, did she? Listen, you guys, I want a lawyer. I'm a citizen. I got my rights.
This belongs to you too, huh? It's got your fingerprints on it.
Well, naturally, I picked it up. How did I know she was dead? I thought she was asleep at first.
Uh-huh.
She didn't paint those pictures. Old Cross isn't as dumb as he looks. He painted them.
The accused brought me 2 pictures. He told me Miss March painted them.
In my expert opinion, there's no doubt about it. She was a very great artist.
She told me she was an artist when she rented the studio. He was with her. I didn't like him then, and I don't like him now.
Yeah, he was mean when he was drunk. He said he was going to fix her when he left my place around 2 a.m. That's when I tell him, you look out, Johnny, you kill somebody. So he kills her with my ice pick.
And then I heard her say, hello, Johnny, before she hung up. He was there, all right. But what I don't understand is this talk about her being an artist. I never saw her paint.
That was one of her peculiar traits. She never let anyone see her paint. I've compared her handwriting with a signature. There's no question.
Mr. Cross paint? He only copied her work. He's a thief. He stole from me, from his employer, from Catherine March.
My wife, I mean my former wife, is correct. I really can't paint. My copies were so bad I had to destroy them.
For cat's sake, he's lying.
Hello, Mr. Cross.
Oh.
Tom Crocker, Evening Globe.
Oh, yes, Tom Crocker.
Joe Williams, Morning World. Yeah. Conway for the Ledger.
Hi.
Cigarette?
Well, thanks. Going to Sing Sing?
Yeah.
I don't like to cover executions, but I must say this is one I don't mind.
You sure cooked Johnny's goose, Mr. Cross, when you testified you couldn't paint.
Nobody cooked Johnny's goose except Johnny, the way he shot off his mouth.
He was a dead pigeon when he dragged the girl's name through the mud. I watched the jury.
If he'd kept his trap shut, he might have got off with his life.
Sure, the evidence was only circumstantial.
What do you mean? Got a fair trial, didn't he?
Yeah, but there's always a doubt.
I suppose you fellas are going to say it was a miscarriage of justice. That someone is getting away with murder.
Not me. There's no such thing. Mr. Cross, nobody gets away with murder.
How's that?
Oh, don't get him started. He'll talk your ear off. That's his pet theory.
All right, go ahead and laugh all you like, but no one escapes punishment. I figure we have a little courtroom right in here. Judge, jury, and executioner.
I don't get it.
Well, murder never solves anything. How about it, fellas? You've covered lots of trials.
I'm sorry, but I have to admit you're right.
The problem just moves in here where it can never get out. Right here in solitary. So what? So you go right on punishing yourself. You can't get away with it. Never.
Now, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, you haven't seen as much of murder as I have, Mr. Cross. I'd rather have the judge give me the work than have to do it to myself.
What time they throw the switch?
11 o'clock.
I didn't do it. I tell you, I didn't do it. Won't anybody believe me? Give me a break, somebody. I never had a square deal in my life. Or somebody give me a break.
Oh, Johnny. Lazy legs. Johnny, darling. I'm here, baby. Jeepers, I love you, Johnny. Johnny. Lazy legs. Jeepers, how I love you, Johnny.
Kitty.
Oh, you idiot. How can a man be so dumb?
No, Kitty, no.
You wanted to marry me? You?
Now she's mine, Chris.
Let her alone!
Mine forever.
You killed me, Chris. You're old and ugly, and you killed me. You killed me. You killed me.
No, Kitty. It's him. You were innocent. You were pure. That's what he killed in you. He's the murderer.
No, he's not. Not Johnny.
See, Chris? She loves me.
That's why you had to die. You're the one I killed.
Now she's mine, Chris.
You killed Johnny? I'd like to see you try. Why, he'd break every bone in your body. He's a man. Johnny. Oh, Johnny. Jeepers, I love you, Johnny.
There's something wrong in there.
Ever thus to Simps.
It's all right, old man. It's all right.
Johnny. Oh, Johnny. Lazy legs. Jeepers, I love you, Johnny.
Get up. Come on, get up. Oh, it's you. Haven't I told you to keep out of this park? You know the mayor's orders. Get on down to the Bowery where you belong. Come on.
Who's that, Rick?
Oh, he's got a crazy idea. He killed a couple of people 5 or 6 years ago. Can't get it off his mind. Always trying to give himself up. Wants to be tried and executed. You know these nuts.
There goes her masterpiece.
I really hate to part with it.
For $10,000, I shouldn't think you'd mind, Mr. Telephone.
Dang, dude. That's Scarlet Street, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching it. For those of you who haven't seen it, yeah, dude, that one guy called it in the chat. Where is he? Dylan? Was it Dylan? Yeah, Dylan called the hanging. I guess the moral of the story is just to not simp. Don't be a simp. Don't be a cuck, or else you end up as a hobo. That's what I learned. I hope you guys learned a valuable lesson today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. What a great one that is, man. As soon as I started that, I looked up if Key Largo was streamable, and it is. So I kind of kicked myself. I was like, man, I should have did Key Largo, but we always got next time, man. I really enjoy these. I hope you guys enjoy them too. Sharing in a great cinema, my love for film noir. Man, it's a late one. We did a late night stream, y'all. If you guys love the channel, please feel free to like and share the videos. Leave a comment when the video's done going live. It helps us in the algorithm. And put a tip in the tip jar if you feel so inclined. God bless you guys. It's awesome. It's always awesome hanging out. It's always an honor. Get to chill with the Ho Boys. They covered all the sins. They sure did. They sure did. Jealousy, envy, greed, murder. Yep, exactly. Mela says that was great. I love it, man. I love that movie. Thanks for the double feature. Absolutely. Yeah, I always get that one mixed up with Lady in the Window. Like, that's another. It's so similar because it's got Edward G. Robinson, and he sees a girl through the glass in a storefront window. That's another good one. We'll definitely have to check it out. Yes, I got your PayPal. Sorry if I didn't shout that out. We had a $5 super chat. He says, take this for whatever you need. God bless. It's morphin time. It's mighty morphin time. Thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate that, brother. And yeah, guys. God bless, man. Hope you all have a good night and continue on through this great Lent on our way to Pasha. And yeah, until next time, Lil Ewok signing off. God bless y'all. Peace.